right, let's roll. Thursday Night Throwdown has begun. The late night anger management class. It looks like we could be here for a while. Normally we step up and in around halftime. Right now the second quarter has just started. Lightning delay. Fucking pussies. You know, in my day they played in lightning and they fucking liked it. In my day they played in lightning and they liked it. So what? If you get struck by lightning, that's an act of God. He chose you. You were blessed. You were blessed. Like fucking 5 billion people in the world, he chose you to zap you. Like I said, think about all the things you have a better chance of getting killed at in an NFL game. First off, you have a better chance of like getting drunk, falling down the fucking steps and splitting your head open. You get run over by a drunk driver in the parking lot. There's a lot of ways you can get fucked up in an NFL game. People fall out of the stadium, fall off the rails, do the rails. Remember the guy in Buffalo, man? Guy in Buffalo is banned for life. He fell off the upper deck. Motherfucker landed on people. He's lucky he didn't kill him. Anyways, it's 14-0 for the Green Bay Packers. Chicago Bears have the football. And I tortured myself, and I actually watched these guys mumble on during this delay. And, man, they were really bringing nothing to the table. Holy fuck. No wonder we have so many viewers. You know, Deion Sanders was reduced to talking about how, you know, the Green Bay Packers have pretty good fans. So these Packer fans, pretty good fans here. Bill Cowher, I don't know, Bill Cowher's been on TV long enough that he was trying to push. He was like, you know, this rain delay, big advantage for the Chicago Bears. He's talking like this is the fucking Super Bowl with the Ravens and the 49ers or something. So as we stated last night, and as I stated all day on TV and on some fantasy sports network radio with Red Heat and Rage, people in the fantasy world and people in the handicapping world, they need to justify their existence. They need to justify their existence. So they overanalyze, break down, carve up, fucking tell us about injury reports and fucking everything else in between. Well, in reality, this stuff is pretty simple. The guy that won the Westgate Super Contest last year, he's a barista at Starbucks. He's a barista at Starbucks. And they asked him, how did you, what did you do to win, to beat all the best cappers in the world, supposedly? He said, well, I bet on the good teams and I bet against the bad teams. It's like I took New England, I took Dallas every week, and I bet against San Francisco and the Jets every week. There's your fucking expert. You know, the old, wise guy versus square, sharp versus square. Yeah. Square often wins. Sharp outthinks himself. Overanalysis leads to paralysis. Fake Joe Lisi, you're gone. We'll be joined by the fake Ed Feng in a couple of minutes. Ed Feng will step up and in. The power rank. Machine versus man. Oh, big play Bears, but they dropped it. And the bad news Bears on 3rd and 17. Catchable ball. Yeah, Ed Feng's going to step up and in a couple of minutes, actually. And we'll talk some NFL football. We'll talk some college football with Ed. Major League Baseball, regular season, just get over with, man. Come on, the Twins. We know the Twins are playing the Yankees now. kind of anticlimactic the last weekend, baseball. But baseball playoffs next week, pretty cool stuff. NHL ready to drop the puck. A late night betting angle for NHL preseason if you're a real degenerate. The Vancouver Canucks are playing tonight. They're hosting the Flames. I think it's dropping a puck in about 20 minutes. But don't forget the Canucks went to China over the weekend. Or as Donald Trump would say, China. They went to China. And that's a road trip. You know, Joe Flacco crying, oh, Joe Flacco, I'm going to be zombies. We're in London, 7-hour flight. Fucking, you know, you go to Beijing, now then I'll listen to you. You go to London, shut the fuck up, all right? It took me fucking 13 hours. It took me fucking literally 15 hours to come back from Costa Rica. Joe Flacco squawking about a fucking charter jet. Joe Flacco and the Ravens are traveling in the same luxurious style as Tom Price is. All right, the Packers have the football. It's going to be an excruciatingly long, painful football game. We'll pay more attention to what's going on here in the collegiate world, yet we have a similar situation over here. Identical scores, actually. 14-0. How's that overlooking? Not very good. Fucking over this football game in Ames tonight was 62.5. In-game number, 35.5. Texas Longhorns. These guys give up like 26, 27 points a football game. Not tonight. They're shutting out the Iowa State Cyclones. That's the thing, man. You talk yourself into these picks. Ooh, the Cyclones at home. They pull off upsets. Yeah. We're grasping at straws, man. We're living in the past. Ooh, they beat fucking Oklahoma State I talked about today. Yeah. In 2011. I'm hanging on. Oh, they beat Iowa. They beat Oklahoma State in this spot. Yeah, when? Fucking Brandon Whedon was the fucking quarterback. It was so long ago. Ooh, they lost to Texas by 1 here a couple of years ago. It's like hiring Rex Ryan for, you know, his success against the Patriots. Yeah, how successful were you, Rex, against the Patriots? Well, you know, I only lost by 7 points every time. You know, you talk yourself into these things. You talk yourself in, ooh, these teams, they can play, they're going to hang around. And then, boom. You remember, you know, teams like Iowa State fucking suck. Tom Marino wondering about Amon Green. Amon Green would have his number retired, and he would be part of the Packer family, but didn't Amon Green beat the shit out of his fucking teenage daughter recently? And it pains me to say that because Amon Green's a friend of my TV show. He's come on my TV show. You know, he came on my radio show. And when he was on the Packers, he used to come on. Now when he was retired, he came on. And he's one of these dudes, the last guy you would expect to be doing this stuff. But, yeah, if, you know, off the top of my head, I remember it was in the kitchen. I think he asked his daughter to do the dishes, and she might have mouthed off. And, you know, he didn't even take it to the Adrian Peterson parenting. I think he basically raised it up a notch and like smashed her into the fridge type shit. Hey, shut the fuck up, nothing for something. Holy Gabe, fuck, dude. Yeah, his daughter needed the fucking ass kicking. Yeah, speaking of which, Marty Jannetty, holy shit, Stooch the man. Yeah, we'll get to that later. Do I got to start kicking everybody out? Is that the deal? I don't know if it was an poor attempt at humor, but I appreciate that, Kitchener Ray. Yeah, Marty Jannetty talking about fucking his daughter. Turns out Marty Jannetty, the wrestler, just found out just yesterday that his daughter's not his real daughter. It's like Maury Povich. After all these years, he got a fucking DNA test or something. And his daughter's hot. So the motherfucker is actually insane and diabolically evil enough to ask people on Twitter whether it would be socially acceptable to fuck his the girl he raised is his daughter, but now he goes, now I know it's not my daughter. I can sleep with her. Would that be wrong or right? Now, if you were Colin Cowherd or Dean Blundell or something, I would accept that because you're just fucking ultimate loser trolls. But really, Marty Giannetti? But whatever, man. It's like Hulk Hogan rubbing lotion on fucking Brooks' back and shit. And Hulk Hogan's a freak too. You know, Hulk, let's be real, fuck. I'm not going to say anything about Hulk because whatever, man. We know the guy's pretty litigious, fuck. Big hero, Hulk. Let's just say Hulk really likes his daughter, fuck. Alex Z, what's up? All right, let's see if our main man Ed Feng is in the house. And I should have known Ed would be very, very punctual, unlike Babano. Of course, Ed would be punctual.
What's up,
Ed
man?
Feng steps up and what's going on, Ed? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I planned on starting the show off all serious on a serious sports note here, but you know, people in the chat, this is why, Ed, democracy doesn't always fully work.
Dude, the Marty Giannetti talk was enlightening, my man. It was enlightening.
Okay, well, did you hear the story? I'm assuming you didn't hear the story, right?
Well, I heard you talking about it, and that's an interesting take.
Okay, so yeah, no, just we'll talk sports here, but Marty Giannetti is a wrestling legend, right? So
absolutely.
So yeah, no, this no joke. I saw this story late last night, and I'm like, dear God, like really, like was there no adult supervision around Marty Giannetti on this one? Like like that's the type of stuff. Like, I hope he's rich because he's never going to work again. At this point, like when you're asking people out loud, like, has he ever heard of Woody Allen? Like, the answer is fucking no, Marty. The answer is no. It's not cool.
No, dude, it's like one of those things. It's like, yeah, maybe you can think that in your head, but don't tell anyone else in the fucking world that that's what's going on in your head. Like, keep that shit to yourself, right? Fucking
wrestlers, man. The only people sleazier in the college basketball world, Ed, are wrestlers.
I guess so, man. Jeez. Although that takes a lot to be sleazier in the college basketball world. We're finding that out right now.
It really does. And I saw a great tweet from Todd Furman today, in which Teddy Covers actually retweeted it. Said the cleanest thing about college basketball are the bettors. It's true. If I can find the exact tweet, the word for word, but that was the gist of it. Although the players are just kids. I don't blame the kids, but the collegiate world, unlike the NFL and the pro world, Ed, which is just full of upstanding individuals and upstanding character. Like the pros can really teach the kids a lesson here. So 14-0 in this football game, and I had a feeling this is just a weird game coming into this game, and it's a weird game, isn't it, Ed, tonight with the Packers and the Bears?
Well, yeah, I mean, with the lightning delay and everything, and then I'm sitting there like trying to kind of prep for this show, and then I was like, I completely forgot that Texas was at Iowa State. So I'm sitting there like watching Amazon, which was a completely strange experience because they're like, there's no sound on the CBS commercials, and they're kind of running some of their own commercials. It was just very strange. So you're seeing these Big Bang Theory commercials with no sound.
Do you remember?
And then obviously the delay. And then seeing Tony Romo's dog up there.
I talked about this last night. I don't know if you remember, years ago, they had a game, the Dolphins and the Jets, with no announcers. And we were talking about how it'd be cool to have like an option and stuff. You're doing this Amazon and these different options. If they had, they had the field mic'd up, so you sort of had an uncensored version, like this show, an uncensored. But I'll tell you what, you're not missing much. All the talk about the Cyclones being a live home dog and all this, they're down 14-0. You had midway through the third quarter. It's really surprising that they can't put a point on the board against the Longhorns.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that defense might be better than they're certainly better than they showed that first week against Maryland, and I think we've seen a little bit more. I'm not surprised. They were 34th in my numbers last year. I think they moved up with some of the data from this year, slowing down Sam Darnold out there at USC. So, and I think we're seeing the Tom Herman that we kind of all expected, right?
Yeah, coming together. Well, Tom Herman's a legend as a dog, laying points, a little bit of a different story. All right, and so I wanted to ask you actually, you're a numbers guy, you're more of a math guy. So, when you look at your numbers and and your eyeball test too,
Absolutely.
Are you having a difficult time at all this year? Does it almost feel like an extended preseason in which there's such a big dichotomy? We're only 3 weeks in here, and some teams, 2 teams have only played 2 games. So, it's way too early to make, definitive judgments on Tampa Bay or on Miami. But that being stated, there seems to be a pattern here, Ed, in the NFL this year, with the majority of the teams, with the exception of a few of them, a team can beat anybody on any given Sunday and it can lose. And I know it's cliched, but we see such a massive dichotomy so far this year in the young season between teams at home and when they're on the road, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you have seen a lot of variance this season. But I think you got to go back to your previous statement, man. Let's not make too much out of 3 games. Actually did some kind of my first serious NFL handicapping of the year this afternoon, kind of thinking about what I was going to say here tonight. And I was trying to, I was looking at data from this year, and, it's kind of exciting because after 3 weeks, I can actually do some schedule adjustments for pass offense, pass defense. And you know what I decided? I decided that stuff wasn't worth anything at this point. It's 3 games, I don't want to take it too seriously. And let's just go back to what we thought about these teams preseason. And, with the game tonight, I think Green Bay is a top 5 team in the NFL. I think they're going to contend for the Super Bowl. And I think Chicago is battling for bottom 5 of the NFL. And, I think with that situation, Green Bay at home, you got to lay the points. And I don't think I think it's making it a little bit too complicated to look too much at what's going on in 3 games. When we get to 8 games, let's talk about that. Let's talk about what they've done a little bit more. But
from a betting standpoint and from a ratings and a power ranking standpoint, I get that. But from a reality standpoint, the fact is we're a quarter way through the season as of Monday night. And the standings start to count at this point in time. If you're a 3-1 team, I look at a couple of key football games this week. Tennessee Titans and the Houston Texans. Houston Texans lose this football game. They're 1-3 with 3 division losses. They can't have this. They can't go down to 1-3 and have the Tennessee Titans at 3-1. Critical football game for those guys. From a standings. And similar for Denver and Oakland. Life is good for both these teams, until last week. But the reality is KC keeps winning, and I think KC wins again on Monday. So they're going to be 4-0. You're Denver, Oakland. You're 2-2. You're behind an 8 ball already pretty early. So I think these games do start to count. But from a capping and an eyeball test, it is pretty tough to get a read on these teams, in my opinion. Like Baltimore. We wondered how good was Baltimore the first 2 games. All right, Baltimore were 2-0. They had the Andy Dalton game in game 1. They had the Cleveland Browns in game 2. I wondered, how good is this team really? Well, last week they weren't very good. So are the Ravens what we saw last week? Who are the Ravens?
Exactly. And to a team in Jacksonville that we're not exactly expecting to see in the Super Bowl or even the playoffs, right? I agree. There's been a lot of up and downs. I talked to another one of my data guys, Rufus Peabody, this week. He said he had the Jags with the worst performance in week 2 and then the best performance in week 3. And it just goes to show you what we've seen. We've seen a lot of short-term variance. Let's not make too much of it. Let's, we know a lot about these teams, right? We've been studying these things since August. And, I'll give you another example. I was looking up Atlanta at Buffalo because I thought that was another example of a team that we expect that's top 5 in the NFL. We may be wrong about that. I'm not as positive that they're going to end up in the top 5 of the NFL at season's end as I am about Green Bay. But right now they look pretty good. Offense looks good. The defense may be improved. And Buffalo, probably not bottom 5, but they're probably in the bottom half of the NFL. So when you're looking at laying 8 points with Atlanta at home, I think it's very similar to what we're seeing in this Thursday night game as well. The analysis was really similar for me. Couldn't make too much of just the data we're getting this season. So let's go with what we think of these teams and we'll reevaluate in a couple weeks.
I think the Buffalo Bills defense can go anywhere. They can travel. They're like a compact cot. You know what I mean?
Well,
you roll them up.
Right?
Yeah, I know. But they're going to be on the field a lot here. And it's, the Falcons can push the tempo. I'm a diehard Bills fan, and I like the Broncos last week, and it sours me, man. So I hate betting against my team. But they really are in a bad spot this week. They truthfully are. And they're a classic example of what I'm talking about. Week 1, they weren't great, but it was week 1. They did enough to get it done, and they covered against the Jets. Tyrod made plays last week. Tyrod and the Bills' offense was freaking putrid. They couldn't score a touchdown on the road against Carolina in week 2. And I see
You had that game, right? Because you thought
I
McDermott was
had
going
Buffalo. I had Buffalo in that game. Thank God
Yeah.
the defense. And Cam Newton missed a ton of wide open guys, dude, too.
Right.
He had a guy in the end zone. Carolina should have covered that game.
Right.
But
yeah,
you got a tweet today that interested me. Tyrod Taylor, 62.7 completion percentage, over 930 throws in his NFL career. And, you know, what's weird about that is it's not a lot of dink and dunk stuff with him either. He's actually more accurate when he throws the ball down the field. And when a guy tries to throw the ball 8 fucking yards, he'll throw it over the guy's head. Tyrod's a weird quarterback, but much better at home. Another guy that's better at home than he is on the road.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you think of the guy, you don't think of him much as a particularly accurate passer. You think of him more in terms of his legs, but 63% is in the same category as, you know, some of the better. I think that's Roethlisberger's career average. It's not Aaron Rodgers, but it's a heck of a lot better. The NFL average is about 60. It's a heck of a lot better than Eli Manning and Joe Flacco. And that's, you know, it's a significant sample size when you're looking at 1,000 throws.
Well, speaking
so
of,
yeah, I was just, you know, I'm just kind of doing some homework, and yeah, that surprised me a little bit.
Speaking of quarterbacks, Mike Glennon just threw another interception, and a bad interception at that.
Oops.
You know, like we can talk about who the worst quarterback in the NFL is, and there's some pretty damn bad quarterbacks in the league this year, but Mike Glennon might be right there. And,
right.
You know, I'm going to pat myself on the back on this one because I didn't like Mike Glennon coming out of NC. I didn't like Mike Glennon at NC State. I didn't like him coming out of NC State as a Bills fan. I remember, well, Mike Glennon,
yeah.
Mike Glennon. It's like, I don't know what anyone sees in this guy. And I didn't go to Stanford, and I got bad money management with gambling into my personal life. But what the fuck were they thinking, giving this guy $45 million and then trading up to get Trubisky and then signing Sanchez? You could have signed Sanchez for the $6 million, had Sanchez as the starter, and then thrown Trubisky in here. I mean, at this point, oh, they're big play here. Big play. They're probably going to score. Let's see, can he get into the end zone for fantasy players? No, fuck. Jordy Nelson just short.
Jordy Nelson, come on, man.
Yeah, there you go, Glennon. You're a fucking disgrace, Glennon. You really are. He's got to, like, what's your power rank say about Glennon? He's got to be the worst quarterback in the league.
Yeah, no, I got to look at that a little bit more. I mean, there's a couple guys. I mean, you know, Mike Glennon at $18 million this year, or Joe Flacco at $20 million off your cap hit. I think I might take Glennon out of those two guys, honestly.
I don't understand. You know, the Chicago Bears are spending like $27 million on quarterbacks. Really? You're spending $27 million on quarterbacks for Trubisky, Sanchez, and fucking Mike Glennon. Mike Glennon's not even going to be able to get through this fucking game. You know, wow.
We're probably going to see Trubisky, and that'd be kind of funny. I don't know. I mean, I read some people talking about how, like, the quarterback position is so important, so they're just, you know, you're putting extra resources into it. You know, not only with signing a veteran and drafting a guy, and I heard people talking about, you know, spending 2 top 10 draft picks year after year to try to get the one guy, just because it gives you the chance. I mean, you give yourself 2 chances at, you know, a high pick. I don't know. I mean, that's just the way the NFL's gone. You saw what happened in the draft. Lots of teams moving up to get their guy. Who knows how that's going to turn out? But who knows? I mean, maybe you got something like a Jared Goff, who's leading the best pass offense in my numbers right now through 3 games. Clearly a small sample size, but it's kind of reasonable to expect maybe the Rams are in the better half of pass offenses in the NFL this year, you know, with the improvements they've had on the line, you know, getting Sammy Watkins and you know, giving some Goff some guys to throw at. You know, they might not be terrible.
It's a unique situation with Sean McVay there. And clearly, listen, Jeff Fisher used to be a good coach, but
right.
The NFL passed Jeff Fisher by. And, you know, what is Jeff Fisher going to teach a quarterback? How is Goff going to get better in that situation? McVay has definitely made Goff a lot better. I find it interesting, Ed, that McVay will focus on the offensive plays, and you see he doesn't even pay attention to the defense. He goes and he sits down and he looks at his charts.
Yeah.
And he sort of looks up at the scoreboard and watches on the screen a bit, and like a fan, all right, defense. Wade Phillips in complete control of the defense. But you talk about it. Goff is very comfortable right now. The mechanics are a lot better. He's got a ton of weapons to work with. He's got a lot of speed there for defenses to worry about. But I look at the schemes and the play calling. The play calling's been magnificent, and I rip a lot of the play calling in the NFL. But you look at the Rams' plays, and there are guys open on every play almost. Like, they are very, very good design plays that the Rams are running under Sean McVay.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I saw a little bit of that at San Francisco I guess it was last Thursday night. And yeah, I mean, you can't argue with the results right now. I mean, I don't think they're going to end the season as the best pass offense in the NFL, but the early returns are very good.
Let's talk about the first game on the board here Sunday morning with the Saints and the Dolphins playing in London. And this is a game in which I don't really even need to do much analysis or because I don't know if you heard off the top of it. I said, people in our industry, we tend to overcomplicate things to try to justify our existence. And I said, tonight's game, people with the Bears, the Bears rushed for 220 yards and blah, 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 and Packers injuries. I said, it's fucking Mike Glennon versus Aaron Rodgers at Lambeau Field, all right?
That's right.
Let's not overcomplicate.
Gabe, you're completely making my point here. Let's keep it simple. We know something about these teams. We're not stupid. We were born yesterday.
Exactly.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, I like so this is where I'm going with this. I like the Dolphins in week 1, or we'll call it week 2 when they played against the Chargers. But I'm just thinking, and I only really occurred to me, and I only said it out loud for the first time early on the show today. Somebody asked me about this game. And I said, I'm thinking of all the guys in the NFL and quarterbacks that won't handle a trip to London well, and it's Jay Cutler. And, seriously, is everybody going to be surprised Jay Cutler struggles in London on Sunday? I know it's a high toll. Fuck, it's up to 50.5 right now. But on another serious note, you look at the Dolphins' travel situation from the Hurricane Irma, setting up shop in California, playing that first game, being so focused on the Chargers while the Chargers were playing on Monday Night Football. They were already in Oxnard, California, set up shop. It was an extended camp for them. And then they were flat last week. They go back to Miami. Now they have to go to London. I really like the fact that Willie Snead is back for the New Orleans Saints right now. And I've been saying this, and I don't want to repeat myself, guys, but yeah, the Saints were 0-2. But like Ed said, let's take a chill pill here. How many other teams would have been 0-2 if they opened up on Monday Night Football against a damn good Minnesota Viking team at Minnesota and then hosted a pissed-off New England Patriot team coming off a loss in which they had 10 days to prepare for a football game? A lot of teams would have been 0-2 after that. I know the Saints defense isn't exactly – it's not great. I get it. But with that being stated, I think the Saints going a little bit of a run right now, Ed. I like the Saints in this football game.
Yeah, I have the Saints winning that game. I think my numbers have it by Saints by 2. Don't see much value in the side. But my numbers actually cranked. I actually have some NFL totals numbers, which I'm interested in. I combine a bunch of statistics like yards per play. I look at what the closing markets have said of totals so far this season. The number spits out 52 right now. And Drew Brees is going to put up some points. He's going to put up points on any defense. And the Saints defense is really defying this whole idea of regression to the mean. When you suck as bad as they have, you're supposed to just get better by random chance. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard work being worse than the NFL at pass defense, right? You're not supposed to do that so many years in a row. And they really have. So Jay Cutler or not.
It's not easy to go 0-5 in the super contest, but I've done it before, Ed. Right? It happens.
Exactly. And the New Orleans Saints have gone 0-5, maybe the last 3 years. Maybe we'll give them 1-4 last year. You're supposed to get better from there, right?
And they've even changed coordinators. It hasn't mattered, right? Like they've had Ryan, they've had this guy, they've had that guy, and it never really matters. They have more talent right now. They have more talent. Last week, I think they just sort of willed themselves to victory, and that Carolina offense really, really struggles. Thing with the total is, though, getting up to 50.5 right now, you almost need a clean ride throughout this game then at 50.5. And, you have that invariable of them playing in London. You said your number saying a 52. Is it starting to worry you, though, that the steam has bet this up?
A little bit. I mean, it's at 50 right now. That does seem high. We talked about these high totals a couple weeks ago, right? Like, I definitely balk when, last year they were getting up in 58, 60s and stuff.
So you're not a believer. And I heard I used to live in the same condo in Vegas as Jimmy Vaccaro. Okay. And a longtime odds maker. And he didn't talk to me much. And it's funny because even on my show, and they'd see me in the elevator, he'd be, hey.
He's scared, man.
He's not the friendly guy. I guess I made him nervous. Yeah, sure. But I think he just thought I was a loudmouth smartass. So he used to see me wasted all the time in the lobby. I was like, hey, Jimmy, you got a pick? He's just, he give me a look. But Jimmy always used to talk about, I've been in Vegas forever. I've been setting lines forever. And he talked about betting the highest. Do you believe in that sort of generalization of betting the over on the highest overs and then the under on the low ones, etc. Because that is the belief, so to speak, especially in the college football world.
Well,
yeah, like the college guys believe that. If you see an ultra like the 84, a lot of guys in Vegas are going to bet that over 84 in the Oak State game as opposed to running from it, because they figure that they're not like, oh, it's too high. They figure these guys are just trying to scare me off from betting this game, and the number's not too high.
Yeah, they are. So Gabe, I think these are two different situations. I think the NFL is different just because there's so much more parity. As bad as we talk about the Saints defense, like I mean, it's so unlikely that any team's going to even the Patriots putting up 40 on even a bad defense like that. I think that's very unlikely, just because of the parity. Now, when you're talking about a Big 12 game, it's just getting crazy because you have these really potent offenses, you have these terrible defenses in Texas Tech, and I think it compounds in the sense that when you score quick, then you get more possessions. So, maybe an average up-tempo team like that may get 16, 17 possessions, but when you're scoring quick on a bad defense, then you're all of a sudden getting more possessions. And all of a sudden, 84 doesn't look like that small number anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if my number – I don't think my number – well, I need to do a little bit more database research on this, but I think there is an effect there. I just laugh at these totals now. I don't know what to do with a total of 85. I honestly want to bet under, but I'm just like, what are you supposed to do with these two teams?
No, man, that's what they're trying to scare you away from betting on it. That's exactly it. Because they're thinking, this game. Listen, not all these games are tailor-made. I got burnt the other day betting one of the big numbers and it didn't get there. I forget which I bet some of these games. But you look at you look at Oklahoma State and you look at Texas Tech. I think that this game gets into the high 90s, into the hundreds. And I was going to say, I lost my train of thought for a second. Now, Iowa State scored 21-0 in the Packer game here still. But what the hell? I keep on bouncing around here.
No, you're all good, man. You got TVs there and everything?
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm drawing a motherfucking blank. We're talking about the Texas Tech and the Oklahoma State over. See, I think they're trying to scare people off whenever they set a number that high. I truthfully do.
But what do you mean? I mean, they set it at 81, and it was sitting there for a couple days. And then I checked it today, and now it's 84 or 85. So, I mean, that's not the bookmakers scaring you off with the 81. That's a bookmaker saying 81's a fair number.
And in the public, yeah.
And then people are coming in. I don't know if it's public or sharps or what.
Oh, that's what I wanted to bring up, that I told someone this, and I didn't look at any numbers. I don't have a database on this, but I believe now this is the peak scoring season in college football right now. Coming out of the gate, all right, some of the games, were higher scoring, but offense is not fully in rhythm yet, even though I'm always fascinated how these college teams can come out of the gate without any preseason. And the NFL are bitching about chemistry still. But now I've always found, and weather's not a factor right now, normally you play your tougher opponents later in the year. The schedule is generally set up that way. I've always found in college football, this is sort of the go-get-'em time when you can put points up on the board. The offenses are flowing. It's not bad weather yet, and you're not playing these monster, oh, shit, if we win this, we're going to the Sugar Bowl game where it sort of takes your changes your playbook. I find that these games, week 4, 5, 6, this is sort of the optimum scoring time to bet the overs in college, I believe.
Yeah, no, I think that's an interesting idea. I mean, I think it definitely kind of play calling changes later. And then, this is the other thing. When you're looking at the Big 12, I'm pretty confident in my schedule adjustments when I look at pass offense, pass defense. There's a lot of bad pass defenses in that league right now. And there's a lot of good pass offenses. And that's just a recipe for a lot of points with what's going on in that league.
Man, Mike Glennon just had a wide open guy, not even 5 yards close. I don't want to pick on Glennon, but I don't feel sorry for him. The motherfucker's making $18 million this year. So, exactly. And I love the fact that he was insulted that they drafted Trubisky. They never told me. They never told you. They just gave you $45 million, asshole. That's them telling you. They don't need to tell you shit, all right? They can do whatever. SBR can give me $45 million. They can do whatever they fucking want. We hired Jim Rome. Good for you, fuck. Just pay me. You know what I mean? I don't give a shit. So it's funny that Glenn, it's my team. Yeah, it's your fucking team, bozo. Oh, he completed a pass. It's a miracle. But there's a flag on the play. Okay, so we talked about the Saints and the Dolphins game. We brought up the Bills and the Falcons game. What other games interest you the most? An intriguing game to me this week is the Rams and the Cowboys, except, I haven't talked to one person yet that says, I like the Cowboys to beat these guys up. And clearly the markets feel the same way because it's been bet down to 6 points right now from the opening at 8.5.
Yeah, I mean, I think personally, this is a game I'm staying away from because I just don't know what this Rams team is about. We already talked about the offense. They're tops in my numbers of, pass offense by adjusted yards per attempt. But I don't expect them to be the top offense. Their defense actually hasn't been as good as we've expected, even with Wade Phillips' early returns. So that unit's probably going to get better. Where do they end up by the end of the year? I have no idea. I mean, honestly, they're going to end up in the fat middle of the NFL. In the mediocrity of the NFL this year. I mean, I don't see this as like a playoff team by any stretch of the imagination. When you just don't know, I tend to stay away from teams where we know there's something kind of rapid happening or we feel there's something rapid happening. A little bit with Oklahoma State, my numbers have been kind of against them, and I've just avoided it just because, I know there's a chance that they could be a top 15 team.
Oklahoma State, they have the physical talent and the physical abilities. They just don't have the mental fortitude. They don't have that next level. Everyone, they bitch about that Central Michigan game. You guys put yourself in that position against Central Michigan. Exactly. They're just, give us the win back. Yeah, fuck you. And they had an opportunity too with Stoops being gone. Very impressive what Riley's doing with the Sooners. But, to me, big disappointment that game. And a lot of people, I spoke to a couple of people, they think that, Oak State's going to bounce back and kill Texas Tech. I don't think so, man. I was pretty impressed by Texas Tech against Houston. Even defensively, they make some plays now. They're not great, but they're mixing in a couple of stops here and there now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, it's one of these things where I still don't have confidence in Oklahoma State's defense. So when you're going,
do you want to lay 9.5 points with that fucking defense on the road? Texas Tech haven't lost yet. That's a Fox television game on Saturday night. Lubbock's going to be fucking rocking, dude.
It is going to be rocking. They like their football down there. Last time I checked,
they like their booze too. Texas
and their guns.
Tech,
and their guns.
Exactly. It's all going to converge. Yeah, I don't know. It just almost seems to the Rams this, the Rams that, Cowboys injuries this, and all that other stuff. But the track record of teams with the extended break. You have one of these instances where the Rams played on Thursday and the Cowboys played on Monday night.
Yeah.
Possible break against the shortest possible break.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. I mean, ESPN's done some research where, a team coming off a bye week should kind of get an extra point. So, yeah, that's an interesting take on that. I mean, I don't know.
Look at
maybe
both
a half
Miami
point.
and Tampa won without playing in week 1 too, which I find interesting.
Right. Yeah, did that work out? Yeah, because they won their first game.
Yeah, they both won without playing. Everyone always, because everyone thought it would be an advantage to the second team. And you put it collegiately. It's something to put, in a drawer for next year. But, you put it in the collegiate level. Remember Colorado State? Oh, look at them. They beat up on Oregon State in week 1. Right. And, they're going to have a big advantage playing the Colorado Buffaloes in week 2 because Colorado hasn't played yet. Even I bought into that. And what happened? Colorado State got held to 3 points or something. Like, Football could be a strange sport. Let me ask you about the Ravens and the Steelers.
Yep.
I don't know. Who are these teams? Who are the Ravens and the Steelers? Touchdown Bears.
Bears.
So, who are the Ravens and the Steelers?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I still think Pittsburgh's probably a good team. Baltimore is a team that I kind of had questions about heading into the season. I mean, we talked about the $20 million albatross at quarterback. I think it's just as good as well-run an organization as that is. It just doesn't give you a lot of wiggle room when you're playing the quarterback that much money. And, I think Pittsburgh gets it together as well. I got Pittsburgh by 3 on the road there. Not really seeing any value in the side. So, but obviously, those end up being some pretty good football games that always come down to a field goal at the end.
I mentioned the Tennessee and the Houston game. This important football game, obviously for the division reasons. Tennessee is an enigma to me. I've had a hard time reading them. I liked them in week 1 against the Raiders. I was wrong. I liked the Jags in week 2. I was wrong, and I liked the Seahawks last week. So I hate to admit it. I'm actually 0-3 with Titan games this year. So I should probably stay away. But I'm a pretty stubborn person. And I like the Houston Texans here. You know, it's almost a mulligan. They haven't played at home. They haven't played at home since that disappointing game against the Jags. Deshaun Watson's getting a little bit more acclimated to life in the NFL now and the speed of the NFL game. Nice performance against the Patriots. And like I said, I don't believe in moral victories. I know pro athletes don't either, but I think the Texans have to feel okay about their offense moving forward here. And it's almost a do-over mulligan after that disappointing home opener. And, you know, Tennessee, I don't know, should the game be a pick-em? Maybe, but do your numbers justify Tennessee being road favorites in this game?
Yeah, I mean, I got them by like 0.8 points, so it's a pretty close toss-up kind of game. I could definitely talk myself into Houston side if you could get it, you know, +3. You know, anything below that, I'm not sure I like it quite as much. But you know, I mean, I think Houston's defense is going to be good, and they're you know, they're going to be good enough to slow down Mariota in that offense.
All right, what's going on here with Texas and the Iowa State Cyclones? Looks like the Cyclones are on the move.
Yep.
Looks like we got a football game. Oh no, it's Texas on the move. My bad. Fucking fooled myself. It's Texas on their 6-yard line here. I'm looking at too many things at once here. Texas back to pass in the end zone. Dumps it off. Incomplete. Fuck Texas quarterbacks are bad. Looks like it hit the ground.
But who they got in there? Is Buechele back or they got
I don't know. Does it fucking matter between Buechele or Ellinger here? Yeah, what I want to know is how come I say incomplete? I'm watching on a little box. I got like 6 windows open here. I'm watching on a little box. I can tell the ball hit the ground, yet the ref says complete. Yeah. I don't know. I don't understand why Texas can't find a fucking quarterback.
Yeah, no. Well, hopefully hopefully for Texas fans, they can figure that out.
3rd and 17. I got a great bargain on Iowa State. I got them at 6.5 today, but that was on the pro line point spread here. So I had to carry over the picks into tomorrow. But whatever. I want to win it. I want to win it nevertheless. All right. Anything else in the NFL? And then we'll get to some college before we let you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Raiders and Broncos, big football game for both these two teams. It was 2.5. Now I see it's pretty much 3 everywhere right now with the Broncos. Broncos don't get a lot of respect. Look, they were only 3.5-point home favorites in the opener against the Chargers. They were dogs against the Cowboys on their home field. And, I thought it was a little disrespectful at 2.5. Now it's an even 3. I think it's the Simeon factor. People don't believe him, but we talk about these quarterbacks. Simeon's much better at home than he is on the road.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's facing an Oakland pass defense that is so far, was worse than the NFL last year by my numbers, adjusted yards per attempt. I think 28th at this point in the season. It does not look like that unit has made a big improvement over the season. I don't think Simeon's that good. Actually, I don't think either one of these teams is that good. I had the under win total for both of these teams, which was looking pretty bad through 2 weeks, but they both lost last week, and clearly one of them will lose this week. Denver's pass defense has been good, but it hasn't been at the elite level that we've seen at the past couple of years. So, it's a really interesting game for me. Like, I don't know. I think both these teams kind of stink, and that makes me not want to bet the side on this.
That's not a fan of these. Well, Morency brought it up earlier in the week, and I thought it was a good point as far as the Raiders are concerned. Lacking any fight if they fall behind. And I don't know if they'll fall behind in this game. It'll be a close.
Is that really should that really be the case when you have this up-and-coming young quarterback, Derek Carr, that you think can win the MVP?
They look like they quit to me against the Redskins the other night. That was some of the worst play calling I've ever seen in my life. Todd Downey. Horrible play calling.
The Redskins, here's another conversation we have. I think the Redskins are underrated. I think that's the team that can go on a run. I think they're the best team in the NFC East.
Really? You think they're the best team in the NFC East?
They got a top 5 quarterback. I know he lost some of his weapons from last year, but he's got a great offensive line that is going to protect for him. You can clearly see what kind of pass rush they had last week against the Raiders. They got Josh Norman back there, who was the best at cornerback in the NFL for a while. I know he wasn't particularly good last year, but that's the start of a pretty good defense right there. If Norman can get back to where he was, I think there's a lot of pieces there. I know no one believes this, and I think there's good reason not to believe it with just all the turmoil they had in the offseason. But, you know, I mean, there's a lot of questions about Dallas, too. I'm not sure Dallas is, you know, I mean, most people had them top 5, top 6 preseason. I think there's the jury's still out about that as well. So, yeah, I mean, Washington's the team I like. It's kind of more of a hot take than anything I can kind of back up with the data so far. I mean, I don't think they beat KC on the road there on that Monday night game, but I'm pretty intrigued by that game. I mean, that's one of the games I'm more interested in.
Interesting matchup. I think Kansas City. What do you think? I think Kansas City is one of the better teams in the NFL. A lot of people thought it'd be a big drop off, but they have big playability now. That's the big difference. You know, like it really. I know it's simplistic, but it really helps when you have a kid that can pop one for 60 yards or put it in the end zone at any time. They just sort of have that extra speed and big playability they've never really had in past years.
Well, who are you talking? I mean, they've had Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, but he was one guy. And, you know, I'm talking about Kareem Hunt. You know, Tyreek Hill's nice gadget player. Kareem Hunt looks like a star right now.
Right. Yeah. Well, we'll see. It's been 3 games. Alex Smith clearly had that, like, incredible performance against New England. We're not going to see that every week from him. I'm still a little bit hesitant about him just because I don't know what to do when to ask Alex Smith to win you a Super Bowl. I got asked this earlier this week on a show, whether you're buying or selling on KC for the Super Bowl. And it was a really, really hard choice because I agree. I mean, I see what everyone else is seeing. In my numbers, they're third, actually. So that's good. I mean, that should be a Super Bowl contender, but I just can't quite buy it with the quarterback situation right there.
All right, everyone in the chat wants to pull the trigger on the second half of this football game. So I'm seeing Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers minus .5 point. Where is it? In half. Fuck, they just had it up and they pulled it down. Second half, 20.5. 20.5. Packers minus .5 point. What do you make of the second half here? At 21-7 right now. The 20.5. My general impression
for the game. So
listen, the Bears are playing from behind. You know, they're going to have to pick up the pace. If it was 21.5, I'd be a little bit weary here, but I'd jump on the 20.5. I think it gets to 21 here in the second half. I think it goes over.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, and if Green Bay can't run the ball, I mean, Ty Montgomery's not playing, right?
No, Montgomery got knocked out of the game. Yeah. Not that it matters.
Well, I mean, he's all right, man. That's my Stanford boy, man. Don't tell me my
Stanford boy. I'm not saying he's not good. It sucks, dude. I have a prop on him, fuck. Last time he played against the Bears, he rushed for 162 yards, and the prop was like 54. I was like, I'll take a shot. Thursday night game. They'll probably try to run the football. And lo and behold, the kid gets hurt right away. No, but I'm just stating it doesn't matter, man. Like Rodgers is just throwing the ball at will. He's dropping back. He's throwing it.
Yeah, but the problem is if Green Bay scores the first touchdown in the second half, then it's like, well, they're going to slow that game down up 3 touchdowns. So
yeah, but even so, let's say Green Bay comes out, scores a touchdown, boom, 28-7. Chicago's not quitting at 28-7. They find a way to score a touchdown. Then you just need one more. I think it goes over the 20.5. I do.
All right.
That's my professional opinion.
That's good to me.
That's my Doogie Howser professional MD opinion. Yeah, Chiefs up to 7 right now. In a super contest at 6.5, I can live with it there. That even 7, but I'm inclined to believe that that's the thing with Kirk Cousins. Every time, listen, you watch Kirk Cousins play, and sometimes he's terrible, and you say to yourself, you know, people watch him in week 1. And I had him in week 1 against the Eagles, and I had him in week 2 against the Rams. So I'm not a Redskin hater or anything like that. I do believe in Kirk Cousins. But at the same point in time, he has these games where you say to yourself, well, this is why they don't want to lock him in to a 5-year deal and give him $25 million a year. And then you see him play like he did on Sunday night against the Raiders, and you're like, man, he looks like a top elite quarterback. Look, I'm in the fantasy football world. These guys fucking love him. You know, I speak to a lot of smart football guys, and they tell me that Kirk Cousins is a top 7 quarterback in the NFL. Yeah, to me, he doesn't win big games. He's never won a playoff game. He hasn't stepped up in big moments. I want to see him get it done.
He had 2, right?
And let's see him play consistency. Let's see him play consistent. I'm not sure he can play well 3 weeks in a row. That's my issue with this game. I don't trust the Redskins here.
All right. Yeah, no, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I mean, I'd rather take my chances. I think he's definitely a top 7 quarterback in the NFL. I'll take my chances with him over, you know, some of these other guys. You'll take him over Mike Glennon. I know that.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. I'll agree with you there. I'll agree with you there. Okay, so let's switch gears over to the college game. 14-7 right now. They're going into the fourth quarter in Ames. we'll keep our eye on this. They're on a commercial break. I'll let you know where the ball is when we get back. Tomorrow night, we've got we got 4 games on a Friday night, Ed. We got Miami and Duke, 6.5-point favorites. The Canes on the road, total 55.5. BYU and Utah State. All these teams in Utah don't like each other. And this is people talk about Utah and BYU. This is an all Mormon one. Of course, the Utes aren't a Mormon school, but Utah State are. So this is an all Mormon matchup there. You got Nebraska and Illinois, a rare Big Ten Friday night, that game. Huskers laying 5.5 on the road, total 47.5. And then you got the big boy game here tomorrow. And the number keeps climbing, man, up to 5 points right now.
Is it up to 5?
Yeah, and even 5 I'm looking at, total 62. I don't know, man. USC, Deontay Burnett out, Mitchell out. I don't know if Burnett's going to be out for sure. Ronald Jones pretty banged up. Sam Darnold, 7 interceptions already this year. It's only through 9 all last year.
Yeah, but
I'm not a big Wazoo guy, but I'm starting to drink the Kool-Aid. I'm starting to drink the Wazoo Kool-Aid.
If that number keeps going up, I mean, my numbers put it at about 3. I thought that was pretty fair where it opened up. I actually like the over in this game. Is it still at 63?
62. Came down a little bit.
63. Probably came down with some of the USC guys getting banged up. I think Darnold's good. I wouldn't make too much of the interceptions earlier this season. We saw that. I mean, we saw that first half when he didn't throw an incompletion against Stanford until late in that first half. Washington State, we know what they are, right? They got Luke Falk. They dink and dunk. They move the ball. They're not explosive, but they're going to score points. And they're never too good on the defensive side of the ball. And I think with USC, their strength is definitely on the offensive side of the ball. We've seen their defense get gashed a little bit by not particularly great teams. So I like the over in that game. And, I'm looking forward to watching that one. I mean, it's a great Friday night slate.
Yeah, for a Friday night. Normally we have, Fresno State games and like Utah State only. So yeah, listen, we got a little something. Is Duke a trap, taking the 6.5 with Duke, do you think? Is that a trap game?
Yeah, I think so. I've been looking to fade Duke and it wasn't. Yeah, this is just not the week. Just not the week. I think they're a little overrated. So just a little discrepancy, like by points-based metrics, they're I think they're like 40th out of 130 FBS teams by my numbers. So just looking at, how they perform on the scoreboard. But one thing that I do is I try to take it under the covers a little bit and look at what they do yards per play wise. And as a team, they're about FBS average. They're about 65th in my numbers that way. So what that's telling you is like, they're either getting a little bit of turnover luck, probably turnover luck, or, some of these games. I mean, I think their defense was particularly good at holding a couple teams down on third down, which obviously is going to help you on the scoreboard. I think Duke's overrated. Really wanted to go against them, but this I think this line's too big. What is it at? 5?
Up 6.5 now.
Yeah, that's what do I have it at? Yeah, I mean that's
getting 6.5 on your home field. Thing is, this is the type of game that the Canes would struggle in the past, but Rick's a good coach.
Yeah.
The Nebraska game, it's I'm looking at this one too. Hard to justify laying 5.5 points on the road with the Huskers against anybody at this point in time, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's Illinois though. So that's right. I mean, I agree with what you're saying, but that Illinois team is not good. I mean, it's been a pretty disappointment under Lovie Smith, and yeah, I don't know, man. You got to hold your nose to that one. I mean, it's not like I think Nebraska is going any place good. Well, I mean, we know they're not going anyplace good. They fired the AD.
Yeah, Nebraska's
like the coach isn't too far behind. I mean, they're
never going to be what they want to be. The old Tom Osborne days are over. It's just Oklahoma were able to keep it going. But
yeah, well, they're close to Texas in that recruiting down there, right?
Yeah, good point. Nebraska, how the hell are you going to keep up? All right. Before I let you go, I know you got to go in a couple minutes here. Georgia, I like this Georgia team this year. Georgia are almost like the SEC's Oklahoma State, though. They usually find a way. They play up or down to the level of competition, I find, Georgia. So now, we got a Tennessee team that barely beat UMass. And people are real, man. People are on Butch Jones's ass right now, man. And
but for good reason. Dude, I wanted to find a reason to go Tennessee +7 in this game at home against a Georgia team I really don't trust. But the fact of the matter is that Georgia defense has been really, really good this year. They were able to run the ball against Mississippi State last year. And the most embarrassing thing about this Tennessee team, like I actually thought they were going to be good. I thought Bob Shoop would have that defense back to, where we expected them. He had a heck of a run up at Penn State. Florida ran the ball against Tennessee. Florida can't run the ball. Their offensive line is miserable. And they were able to rack, I forget what the number was, but they were able to go for 6.5 yards a carry against the Tennessee defense. That is a bad sign. No, do not know where this Tennessee team is going. I just cannot take them on the side.
Remember last year, though? Remember last year, the game? It was back-to-back Hail Marys.
Yeah.
Remember that? It was the kid that's hurt now. What's his fucking name? The kid that was hurt. Eason. Yeah, Eason. Jacob Eason. Eason threw it. That was his coming out party. Threw it. And then Dobbs hit a fucking Hail Mary after that to beat them 34-31. But there's a pattern here, and I can't overlook this historical pattern here, Ed. Last year, 34-31. Year before, 38-31. Year before that, 35-32. 2013, 34-31. 2012, 51-44. So in other words, we've had 5 straight overs and five high-scoring, pretty close, dramatic games that come down to whoever has the ball last generally. I know Tennessee are imperfect. I think Butch Jones is coaching for his life here in this football game. Georgia's obviously a better football team. But with that being stated, I'm going to hold my nose, hope for the fucking best, and take the Vols here.
I couldn't do it, man. I wanted to be there with you. I swear, I spent a lot of time this week trying to find a reason to be there. I just couldn't.
Trying to talk yourself in here. You just can't do it.
No, but here's the other thing. Like, I really want to fade Georgia, too, because they're starting a true freshman quarterback. That's got to catch up with them at some point, especially going to Neyland Stadium on the road. The guy's only thrown 1 pick this year. He's been good, but, he's a true freshman quarterback. And stuff like that, that's showing up in the spread for Florida State. They're starting a true freshman quarterback. And I can, I feel like there's an adjustment there. I feel like people are giving what's his name, Fromm. I feel like they're giving him they're giving him the benefit of the doubt, and I just, I think he's gonna. True freshman, they're good. They're gonna have a bad game where they're gonna have some turnovers. Looking to fade that. I just can't do it this week, man. I tried, man. I tried.
I think it's a close game. I think Georgia. Listen, Tennessee. What's a good example? I don't know. I was going to say they're the Bills. They're not the Bills. They're the Chargers. The Tennessee Volunteers are the Chargers. It's almost like Tennessee aren't getting blown out. I think the spread's too high. I'm talking myself even more into this right now, Ed.
All right.
They don't get blown out. They lose in fucked up ways. The Florida game, they had the ball, and they could have punched it in. They didn't.
Well,
you go down the list. They find a way of fucking it up all the time, but they can do that, getting 7.5 on their home field. It wouldn't surprise me if they lose by 3 on a last-second field goal and fucking and Jones gets fired. But I got to take the 7.5. All
right.
I got to
do it with you, man. Sorry.
Let's keep it in the SEC right now. I see Vanderbilt's down to 9 right now. I thought the public would overreact after they lost 59-0 last week. You got the Florida Gators, who have fallen ass backwards in the 2 wins, a Hail Mary, the lucky win last week, although whatever, give them credit. They got it done. Big play for the Bears. They got it done. And now, of course, you have the nine arrest and all that. I guess it doesn't affect them on a football field because those kids didn't play anyways this year. But it has to be somewhat of a distraction off the field for them. And then you have to wonder, how does Vandy bounce back after getting punched in the mouth? I think they can sort of erase it because it was Alabama and they move on with their lives. But the number's down to 9 now. So Vandy's becoming a trendy pick, Ed, over the last 24 hours.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I don't know what to think of that Vandy team. They're clearly not in the class of Alabama, but are they in the class of Florida? Got to see, I watched Florida pretty closely in that opener against Michigan. Their offensive line is not good. They've also had a number of kind of lucky-ish pick sixes this year. That's kind of propping up, I think, some of them.
Dear God, big play here. At Iowa State are going for it on their own 50. 4th and 4. I don't agree with this. I don't agree with that call. And he got fucking sacked and he lost fucking yards. You got to throw it away, kid, on 4th down. Fuck.
There's so many quarterbacks that need to learn how to throw the ball away.
I know, even on fourth down, like, okay, you're losing the ball, but I mean, at this point, you throw it up and you hope for the best, right, down the field because it's fourth down. But you can't take the loss. At least just throw it away, and you're still at the 50 instead of taking a sack here. But I don't like that call, Ed. I'm an aggressive guy. There's 12 minutes left. It's a one-score fucking game. You're at the 17-7. All right, all right. It was 17-7.
Hey, it's not over, is it? I mean, you still got some time.
No, I know. I don't like that play call. Now you get the Texans have the ball on the 37-yard line right now. I don't like that play call. You know, you're forcing it. Fuck. You know, you kick it. You're kicking from the 50. You punt from the 50. You're gonna pin them down there anyways.
Yeah.
It's not like Texans are going up and down the field. I like Matt Campbell. I don't like that play call at all, man.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all.
Green Bay though, too, right? So
I laid the points with the Pack. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, so Vandy, Florida. Tough game. I mean, I just think the Florida Gators too many points to lay. I think we got a close one. Yeah.
No. I mean, I can definitely see that. They don't exactly play fast either. Can't run the ball. Starting a freshman quarterback. Defense is good. I mean, there's a lot of talent on that defense.
All right, two more before we get you out of here. One game that everybody, and I know Big Man on Campus was bringing this game up earlier. I had Mark Lawrence on my show on TV on Wednesday, and one of his picks in the playbook, he's got it circled, is Miami of Ohio. And people keep talking. I spoke to someone today. Oh, I don't think much of Notre Dame. They didn't do much this, they didn't do that. I don't know. They beat the shit out of two teams. Whoever they're better than, they beat up. They beat up Temple. They beat up Boston College. They beat up Michigan State, and they lost by 1 to a damn good Georgia team. Like, I don't get the Notre Dame hate here, and I'm hearing, wow, Miami are going to be fired up for this game. It's 3 touchdowns. I don't know. Is it a flat spot for Notre Dame here? I'm not in love with the Red Hawks here. I'm not running to the window to bet on the Leprechauns, but I don't get the love for Miami, Ohio here.
Yeah, I don't see it either unless you see a real letdown. I mean, Notre Dame's got a pretty tough schedule, so this is probably the easiest game. It's got to be the easiest game on their schedule for the remainder of the season. Who do they have up
next? Let's see. Who do they have up next? Classic look.
Because I know they've got the North Carolina States and the Miami of Floridas of the world coming up.
Stanford. I think the Tar Heels beat them last year, too, in the rain, didn't they? Or was that 2 years ago? I think.
No, I think it was North Carolina State.
It was NC State? Okay.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. You're right.
I got a chance.
Okay, so it's not a big look ahead here then with UNC. You know, you got USC in 2 weeks. If it was USC next week, I would get it. And that NC State game after that. I don't know, man. To me, Brian Kelly, he's coaching for his job. He's trying to impress the boosters by covering point spreads. Like I said, every time they've had more talent than another team. 49-16 over Temple. 49-20 on the road against Boston College. 38-18 against Michigan State on the road. I just don't think Kelly's going to ease up because I think he wants to fucking run. I think he wants to win as many games as possible and win it by as many points as well. Here's the long field goal. And he fucking misses. Fuck. I got the long field goal prop. You fucking piece of shit, Connor Barth. Fuck, man. You know, in a 21-7 game, I'm not going to get a lot of opportunities for a long field goal prop. It wasn't even close, man.
How long was it? 50-yarder?
47 yards.
Oh, man, that's like...
That wasn't even fucking close, Ed. Like, it wasn't like it sailed. It was a straight, like, if that's baseball, it's a wild pitch. Fuck. Fuck, man, that pisses me off. Fuck.
Hey, man, anger management. That's the name of the show, right?
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Okay, and finally, Clemson and Virginia Tech.
Yeah, man.
Every week, everybody picks on Clemson, and I tell them they're crazy. This week is the one week where everybody's like, I'm not picking on Clemson anymore, and I think Virginia Tech are a live dog.
Yeah? What's the number at now?
It's up to 8.
Oh, geez. Man, that's a lot of points on the road.
It was 8, 7.5 now. It hit 8 briefly today. So, you know, we can look at multiple books. So let's call it 7.5 right now.
Yeah, So one of the things I do with my numbers is I take closing point spreads from earlier in the season and I use that to make a number. So I essentially use the same ranking algorithm I use to say Virginia Tech played someone and they were a 10-point spread against someone and that team was a 10-point dog against Clemson and that gives me a number for that game. What's interesting is those market rankings actually have Virginia Tech in the top 10. And Virginia Tech's not quite a team I think of as a top 10 team yet, but if you kind of look at what the market would project forward for this game, it's not 7 on the road for Clemson. I think, it could be a really tough spot here. I mean, clearly the Clemson defense is fantastic. Like, that defensive line is great. I still have some questions about the quarterback. He looks pretty good. Kelly Bryant's looked pretty good so far. But maybe Bud Foster has a little plan for him when he gets to Blacksburg this week. Man, 7's a lot of points.
It is, and I tell you what, Justin Fuente is one of the best ATS coaches in college football.
Where did this open? I had this opening at. Oh yeah, okay.
I can open. I'm looking at. I just popped something open here too. As far as this is coming into the year, this is most profitable coaches as underdogs. All right, where is he? All right.
Yeah, I mean, he had that time when he was at Memphis and.
Yeah. The dude's just a good coach. He has his team prepared. I get it. I said the same thing too. That when everyone pushed Louisville and it was only 3 points, I said, listen, Louisville aren't on that level of Clemson. They're not there. You have Lamar Jackson, but they're not really. Are they going to knock off the defending national champions? And I'm not saying Virginia Tech are, but I think this is a trickier spot than just playing against Louisville. You shut down Lamar Jackson, all right, fine. I think that, defensively, Vodtech can bring something to the table here against Clemson. And it's more, a situational spot where there's going to be a game where Kelly Bryant's going to struggle.
Yeah.
There's going to be that night on the road where it's going to be like, holy fuck, man, the Bullets are coming fast tonight. It's not like the kid has started 10 games yet. He's still going through different experiences. It's going to be a fucking insane environment up there. If Vodtech can get up early, that's the fucking key against Clemson, man. You fall behind against these guys, you're fucking done. If Tech can stay ahead of the scoreboard or at least keep it in that even sort of number, but getting 7.5, 8 points, I'm tempted. I'm going to bite in. I've got a pretty good read on Clemson over the years. I took them in the national championship game last year. The year before, I took Alabama. I've been nailing Clemson this year. I got a good pulse for this football team. I see Clemson winning, but I don't think they're going to blow them out.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, I think I agree with you. Essentially with I think this is a close game. My numbers make it Clemson by 2 on the road. I thought that was a little small, but with a spread like 7, that's pretty big on the road against what you think is, maybe a borderline top 10 team in Virginia Tech.
Ed Feng, the power rank. All right, Ed. So for everyone here, what do you got coming up here? When can people watch you next?
So I do man versus machine with Drew Martin. So that should be up this week. Should be up. Definitely check that out for the Hawaii Colorado State game. Definitely like that game. And then I'm always on Twitter at the power rank. What?
Who do you like?
Oh, over. I know that number came down. I think that's insane. These are
good. We'll be taking a look at that. Hawaii gave Wyoming all they could handle last week.
Yeah, exactly. There weren't as many points as I expected in that game, but I think that's mostly because Josh Allen sucks.
Yeah, I saw you tweet about Josh Allen. What is it, 3.6 yards last week or whatever it was?
Yeah, this guy's supposed to be a first-round NFL draft pick. And I'm like, well, maybe we shouldn't just make this guy a first-round NFL draft pick because he's 6'5". Let's look under the covers a little bit. I mean, the guy completed 55% of his passes last year. That's not good. I mean, I know he hit some downfield, but
he's lost some weapons. He seems to be trying to do too much. He reminds me of? Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
That's who he reminds me of. Phillip Rivers.
Is Rivers that tall?
Rivers is pretty tall. Rivers is pretty tall. I think Rivers about 6'4".
Yeah, Rivers is accurate though. I don't know if Josh Allen's accurate yet. But yeah, Hawaii, Colorado State got offenses, terrible defenses. Definitely something to look into. And then on Twitter at the Power Rank, and then at my site thepowerrank.com. I'd be happy to give you a sample of predictions I get from members of my site. Just sign up for my email newsletter. That's thepowerrank.com.
Great stuff. You know what? I'm going to sign up for your newsletter. Thanks for the time, Ed. You're a class act, buddy.
Hey, thanks, man. Thanks, Gabe. Talk to you soon.
All right. How tall is Phillip Rivers? Yeah, 6'5". Exactly. Yeah, when I was watching Josh, I had money on him last week, and I was watching that game, and his body language, his body, his delivery, like, I felt like I was looking at Phillip Rivers as a kid. Fuck. I was like, fuck, this kid reminds me of it. And I couldn't put my finger on it at first. I was watching, I'm like, this guy reminds me of an NFL quarterback, but I can't fucking put my finger on it. And then I saw him, he took his helmet off, and he was fucking getting the crowd going. And it was funny, in overtime, he came out and he was talking to the defense. I was like, holy fuck, this kid's like a little mini fucking Phillip Rivers. Fuck. Yeah, people love Josh Allen. I'm not gonna rip Josh Allen. He lost his best weapons and shit. His offensive line sucks. You know, you see with Sam Darnold too. These kids, they get under pressure, man. Josh Allen knows, oh fuck, I'm a top 5 NFL draft pick. So they start to overthink things. You know, I'm telling you, these guys are humans, right? So he's playing in a football game, but when he's dropping back to pass and he throws a bad pass, he's not just thinking about the game. He's thinking in his head, he's like, oh, fuck. I wonder if fucking Mel Kiper saw that. You know, and he's thinking, oh, shit. Fucking guy of the Redskins is here, and I'm fucking up. Like, it gets in these kids' heads, man. You know? It's a distraction. It's that shit. Fuck around the bowl games. He's like, you guys all thinking about the NFL. He goes, you got, and that's why Alabama struggles in some of these big games at the end of the year. Remember Saban last year said that after the Clemson game. He said, man, half the kids on my fucking team are fucking worried about the NFL Combine right now, all right? Like, they're not worried about this bowl game. I hate to say it, but it's true. And Saban said it. He goes, I fucking swear, and, you know, fuck Saban anyways. I don't give a shit what you want, Saban. But Saban was saying, you know, I wish they wouldn't tell these kids their draft stock until fucking after the bowl games and the playoffs. Because all these kids on Bama, they're like, oh, damn. Imagine it's like, you know, it's like a lottery, right? So it's like, damn, wow, all right, fuck. They say I'm going to go in the 2nd or 3rd round. And then the kid's thinking, well, I'd like to beat Clemson, but what's more important to the kids suddenly? Beating Clemson or going in the 2nd or 3rd round? So already they're already checked out mentally. They're already like, all right, I got to go to the Combine. I'm not getting hurt in this game. You know, so they start, it's just different. So I think when you have the pressure of a big-time kid, it's different. Like, if you're a kid that's trying to make a name for himself and you're a 3rd-round pick and you're like, I'm a 4th-round pick, but I don't want 4th-round pick money. I want 2nd-round pick money. Then you're fucking going fucking hard, man. Like Saul Thomas last year on Stanford. He was like, I want top 5 money and possessed at the end of the year. But I think these quarterbacks, I've noticed this with Darnold. He seems to be pushing the ball. He's aiming it. You know, and when you see that, he's trying to be perfect. He's trying to drop back because he knows in his mind, fuck, they're going to break down every step I make. So I think, you know, in his head, he's thinking, I know as a TV host, the same thing. You know, you'll do a big TV hit. You're on ESPN, you're on this or whatever. You're thinking, I don't want to screw up. And you start to, it's just different, right? The more people, the more everything, life is different. And he's showcasing. So Josh Allen knows he's showcasing. He's got no fucking good players on his fucking team to work with. He's on Wyoming, guys. What do you expect from the kid? A lot of them this year. He's not playing great football, but he looks like a guy that's forcing things. And it's funny, Sam Darnold last week against Cal threw a pick, boom, and I forget who the analyst was, and boom, he said the exact same fucking thing. Arnold's just, you know, he's just kind of forcing things, and, you know, he's feeling the pressure of trying to carry everything. And that's what happens. Deshaun Watson last year. Deshaun Watson threw like 17 fucking interceptions last year, I think. Was it 19? 2 years, Deshaun Watson threw like 36 interceptions or something. It was fucking insane. 29 picks. But Deshaun Watson threw a ton of picks. Does Deshaun Watson suck? No. Deshaun Watson was trying to fucking get drafted in the NFL. He's trying to just, I don't care. If it gets picked, it gets picked. I'll shoot it again, you know? Yeah, that's fucking great. It's raining. Good to see you, Stucci. Yeah, the thing is, Vitalist, good to see you, Vitalist, is you're not putting in Mitch Trubisky now in the fucking rain in Green Bay. Well, they're going for a long field goal here? No, they're going for it. I see Mason Crosby on the sidelines. They're keeping the offense out there. You're not kicking from there, obviously. So, yeah, you don't put Mitch Trubisky in this game. It's fucking bad weather. You're not coming back and winning. You're on the fucking road against the Green Bay Packers. What do you want to send Trubisky out there and what? Get him killed? You know, if anything, you bite the fucking bullet. You make Trubisky the starter for the next game if you want. But they're not going to do that because that's just going to expose – the GM for being the moron that he is. Because imagine right now it's 3 weeks in, you bench Glennon, and then you got to go to the owners and say, well, yeah, so you're telling me the guy that you just gave $45 million to was only good enough to keep the job for 3 weeks? Great job, Pace. Fuck, the guy's young. He's like 36 or something, I think, running the fucking Bears. Fucking Doogie Howser. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing. Why would you trade up to fucking get Trubisky? And when you fucking, you know, if you like Trubisky so much, then why did you sign Mike Glennon? And then why did you sign Mark Sanchez? Like, you know, what are you doing? And the guy fucking drafted Trubisky and didn't even tell John Fox he was doing it. Now, Craig McFank was asking me, how come I'm not in the chat typing? I'm talking. You want me to type? I'm talking to you right now. I'm talking to you. I need to type. I saw in the chat during the interview with Ed, how come Morency never fucking types in the chat? Because I'm the host of the show. I'm the host of the show. What do you want? What do you want me to do? Be talking to Ed and typing about something else? Hey, once in a while, I'll say something in the chat. Yeah, but I'm talking. Like, Drew, what am I going to do? I'm going to kick everybody out. I already kicked somebody. I kicked 2 or 3 people out already. I never kicked so many people off a fucking show. Again, how come I'm not typing? I'm talking. Motherfuckers, man. 17-7. Texas Longhorns are up by 10. They have the football. Under 5 minutes left. 3rd and 4 right now. Packers are about to punch one in. I'm pissed off I didn't make the Packers my survivor pick. That's a lot of P's to say. Package absolutely positively has to be in Pittsburgh overnight. I'm pissed off that the Packers aren't my survivor pick. But I was like, I figured I'd save the Packers for a little bit later on in the year. And fuck me, Texas gets that first down. Fucking Iowa State. How the fuck can you guys only score 10 points against the Longhorns, man? 7 points. Serenity now, insanity later. Good stuff with Ed. Smart guy, Ed. But you notice with all these Capra guys, they never like anything. It's like I have Teddy. Oh, I got no action on. I got no action. It's like, I know you don't have action on this game, but we're doing a TV show, and or an internet show where we're trying to get people opinions on games here. I could give you a list of like all the guests that I have and like which ones get right to the point and will throw picks out and which ones dance around. Fuck. I hate the dancing around. I hate the dancing around. Like that's why I snap now. I can't help it. I cut off a lot of guests. I'm like, so who do you like? I got to rain Babano. Babano. Rain it in, Babano. Touchdown Packers. Never ends. Fuck. Hey, Devontae Adams was a flag on the play, though. I don't know. Aaron Rodgers has 4 touchdown passes. Holding. Green Bay Packers coming back. It's like the pick. Get to the pick. No, I know, but it's like, you know, people come me to ask on the shows. And they ask me, I give them an opinion. You know what it is, though? All these capper guys, and I'm not talking about Ed here. Ed was very forthright, but a lot of the capper guys, they take themselves so fucking seriously. They're scared to give a fucking opinion on anything because they don't want people to think, oh, well, I said that one and it didn't win. When they don't realize nobody remembers or gives a fuck. Nobody remembers or gives a fuck. Exact. Kitchener Ranger Ray. What up, Ray? Oh, that's the game. Game, set, match. I don't want to hear it, fuck. I'm sick of hearing about Tom Herman. Big deal. You beat Iowa State, fuck. Good for you. Fucking Iowa State. I fucking fell. I knew this was a fucking trap, this game. Well, it looks like there's a fight going on here with the Bears. Bears and Packers. I don't know. Bears and Packers should be fighting. That's football. Bears and Packers, you shouldn't get along. Texas are just killing the clock right now. It's a minute and a half left. We'll take our first break of the evening. Oh, now there's a penalty on the Bears. I don't know, probably for pushing somebody. What the hell happened here? All right. Oh, fuck. Yeah, that wasn't cool. Number 59 on the Bears just fucking smoked. Who was that? Devontae Adams in the face with the helmet. That's not cool, man. I think Devontae Adams is dead. He's still out right now. I kind of holy fuck. Dude, what are you doing, fuck? I get your rivals and shit, man, but really? The guy was getting tackled anyways, bro. You're losing 20 years. Like, really? That's the whole shit. You guys are all brothers, right? You take knees together and shit, but then you fucking crack this guy in the head like that? That's fucking not a hit. That's dangerous shit, man. Devontae Adams looks seriously injured right now. Neck just snapped back. Like, fuck, you're an asshole. Who's number 59? That was a fucking bitch-ass douche fucking play. That was I was wondering what the fight was about. That's fucking bullshit. If I was on the Packers, I'd fucking kill this guy. Like, seriously, someone on the Packers should have attacked this guy. Adams a start. You can't be doing this bullshit. Devontae Adams looks serious. I think he might be out cold type shit. I like Devontae Adams, too. Who is that? Bears Ross. Who's number 59? Danny Trevathan. Kentucky. He'll get suspended. He'll get suspended for that. He'll get suspended for that. Yeah, dude, I hope he's okay. Like, no joke. If you didn't see the hit, like, he really, really, really got fucked up. Sucker shot. Like, a Bear guy already had him wrapped up, and he was about to get tackled, and then fucking Buddy comes fucking flying in, fucking helmet to helmet, like, deliberately. I get football is a fast sport. That was not a fast play. He's fucking, you knew exactly what you were doing there. That's not, you know, bang, bang hit. You knew what you were doing, dude. You fucking tried, you know, you got pissed off. You're losing the game. You fucking leveled him. And I gave the little thumbs up like that matters. Oh, it's okay, folks. Yeah, yeah. At least he's fucking, at least he's not in an ambulance type shit. Yeah. Evil can eat a thumbs up. Yeah. I always love that thumbs up. He's all right, folks. Thumbs up. Touchdown. Jordy Nelson. Yeah, he's alive. He's alive. And Rodgers has 3 touchdowns. I've got a prop with Jordy Nelson catches, and I'm scared to look. I don't think we're going to get there. What has he got now? 3 catches, 4 catches? It's fucked up. I think he's got 2 touchdowns. He's got like 3 catches only. How many catches does Nelson have? Yeah. Fucking, you believe this shit? He's only got 1 touchdown. My bad. Yeah, Jordy Nelson, he's got 3 catches only. This is Rodgers spreading it out. Cobb's got a touchdown. Adams got a touchdown. Nelson's got a touchdown. I thought it was Williams that got a touchdown, but it was actually Jones. The Tariq Cohen bandwagon's going to empty after tonight. Cohen's got 2 catches for 8 yards, two rushes for 1 yard. $10 points can get this game over the number. All right, we'll take our first break of the evening. We'll come back. We'll talk some more football. I'll give you my thoughts on some of the other games. Talk a little bit about the AFL Grand Final tomorrow night. AFL footy. I got a good pick for you if you want to get that shit in. Yeah, he did, T-Nosis. I was just thinking about that. Bovey said, I don't like playing Packer wide receiver props because Rodgers spreads it out so much. And you know what it is? The Jordy Nelson prop to the over, it's an automatic if the other team can fucking score. If the other team scores, the Packers are forced to keep on throwing. But the Bears ain't doing jack fucking shit. Yeah, I've got the Bears minus the points and a teaser to the over. I got a long field goal prop. I got a bunch of pro line props here. Fuck me. I'm upset, man, about Iowa State. It is what it is. Level 2 continues. How bad is Mike Glennon? Holy fuck, man. SBR doesn't like when we get into politics, but you can't say that Donald Trump hasn't been good for the economy. Brock Osweiler and Mike Glennon are making a combined $35 motherfucking million. So, you know what? He's made their America great again. He's made their America great again. Think about that right now. Like, there's a starving single mother right now in Atlanta. There's like, you know, people whose lives were destroyed in Houston, living meal to meal, eating fucking Spam and ramen. And this motherfucker has fucking $18 million in his bank account. Like, at this point, you could take a homeless guy. Like, really, you just randomly go outside on the street in Houston, pull a homeless guy off the street, and I'm sure he played high school ball. You tell him, yeah, you want to make $18 million this year? What do I got to do? All you got to do is fucking suit up in a Bears uniform and just throw the ball. It doesn't matter who catches it. If it gets picked off, don't worry. We'll give you $18 million. Okay. You're a fucking embarrassment, Glennon. You know, it's interesting. There's actually 4 starting quarterbacks from NC State in the NFL right now, and you by far are the worst one. You by far are the worst one. You got Russell Wilson, Phillip Rivers, Jacoby Brissett, and Mike Glennon. You know, NC State uses this in recruiting. Yeah, we got 4 starting quarterbacks. First time it's ever happened. 4 of the 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL went to NC State. I wouldn't brag about Glennon going to NC State. And the fact that you guys tried to decapitate Devontae Adams means the Packers aren't going to let up on you. They're going to punch it in here in a second. They're going to punch it in here in a second again. It's funny, though. Throughout the week, I remember everyone making an argument for the Bears and stuff. Don't overcomplicate things, guys. You know, Mike Glennon sucks. The Bears suck, all right? The Bears are a bad road team. Oh, but they played Pittsburgh tough last week. So what's your deal, Glennon? You getting $18 million? You plan on throwing 18 interceptions? You're worse than Brock Osweiler. Like, who's worse, Brock Osweiler or Mike Glennon? You got one game. You don't have a choice. You got one game. Who's your quarterback, Brock Osweiler or Mike Glennon? I'm taking Brock Osweiler. Dead serious. At least Osweiler's won games before. You know, he went 9-7 as a starter. He beat Tom Brady. You know, when he was on the Broncos, he won some football games. Mike Glennon's never done shit. Mike Glennon was shit at NC State. I don't understand it, man. I don't get it. It's like Tom Savage. Tom Savage was shit in college, too. And people think, oh, he's going to be good after. I thought Savage could be serviceable at least, but he's, you know. I don't understand the Bears thinking of signing this guy. I really don't. So you're going to be paying this guy $18 million this year to hold a fucking clipboard soon. You put John Fox in a pretty tough spot. And the quarter expires 28-7. I'm just fucked. Jordy Nelson's not going to get 3 more catches in this game, so I'm kind of sour about this. I got fucked over. You know, look, Montgomery. Montgomery got hurt in this game. He had 5. I bet the over prop, 55.5. He had 28 yards on 5 carries. Fucking Jones has 12 carries for 47 yards. This is a game in which Montgomery would have had 18, 20 carries and 110 yards or something. But it is what it is. Sometimes you're going to get fucked. And I had a feeling today, you know, before when I was betting tonight, I was like, man, this Iowa State game's a fucking trap. The Packers are going to roll, but all these props are fucked. Tonight, some of these nights, just lay the 7 and don't touch anything else. Even the sacks. How many times have these guys been sacked? There's been how many sacks in the game? Fuck, there's only been 3 sacks in the fucking game. Yeah, I didn't go big tonight because I knew. 3 sacks, MMA cashing bets. Yeah, 3. Yeah, one of those nights. They said, "Hey, I'm on the Packers. I'm on the Packers tees to the over. It's not a complete disaster, but I'm pissed off about that missed field goal. I'm pissed off about my Jordy Nelson props. I got screwed over by fucking Montgomery getting hurt, and I was on Iowa State." All right, we move forward. So Friday night, tomorrow night, we got a bunch of college football games. Big Man on Campus is going to join me live tomorrow night like he does every Friday night. And Big Man stays for a couple hours. And, Big Man wanted to do a live betcast, actually, for USC and Washington State. And whatever. We're going to be on live anyway, so it might as well be a live betcast, Big Man. So Big Man will be on live tomorrow night during his USC-Washington State game. It's up to 5 points right now. And, this is another one where I'm not a big Washington State guy. If you guys have been paying attention over the last couple of weeks, I generally bet against them if I can. I took Boise State plus the points. I've stayed away any other weeks with Washington State. Yeah, great defense. There's Jordy Nelson. It's crazy. Jordy Nelson, maybe you can get fucking 6 touchdowns, Jordy. I do have Jordy Nelson in fantasy, which is good. I'll take it. That's a positive I'll take. And I have him in a high cash league, too. So that's 4 catches, 2 touchdowns. Is he going to get 2 more? It would really help me out. I got a 3-team parlay that will win. I got like one of these fucking lottery fucking pro line tickets that'll win. I need 2 more catches, Jordy. Fuck. He's not going to get it, though. The game's going to go over. It should. There's one touchdown pushes it over. Field goal gets it over the number, depending on when you bet it. 35-7 right now. The route is on. The route is on. So, yeah, this game tomorrow, it kind of freaks me out because I've constantly stated over the years how I don't believe in Mike Leach and how I don't believe in Luke Falk. And here I am now. I'm going to come in tomorrow night's game betting on, and like I said, I had a weird feeling. I had a nice little run. I know myself and my betting tendencies. I had a nice little run. I cashed out. I cashed the money out, and I left a little money in. I didn't do well with the baseball last night. Tonight, I really didn't have a lot in the account. It was one of these deals where it was like, okay, I can go load up the account again and recharge and hit this tonight. Or I could just sort of screw around a bit, put the little bets in, take a night off. Like you notice I'm not really raging. I'm more pissed about the props right now, and I'm getting angry about this. But I got to pace myself. Otherwise, I'm going to have a heart attack. So, I've sort of told myself, all right, I'm going to take it easy tonight, little sprinkles. Tomorrow, I'll increase the units again. And then Saturday and then Sunday, I'm going to fucking attack again. And it's sort of the calm before the storm into the weekend. It's a super contest. We got to get our shit together. But tomorrow night, we got 4 college football games. So it's going to be a rock and roll party night tomorrow night on the program. Duke and Florida and Miami, Florida. Sort of has a feeling of this Texas-Iowa State game, doesn't it? You have an elite program taking on a non-elite program. Duke's a basketball school. So is Iowa State. Now, I'm not calling Miami, Florida an elite program by definition and by today's standards, but you know what I mean. Was Texas an elite program? Let's put it this way. You have better recruits. Miami have better recruits than Duke does. You have a better, more esteemed program per se. Yeah, we're trying to talk ourselves into the underdog like we did tonight with Iowa State. To me, the difference, though, between Iowa State and Duke is Duke are better than Iowa State, number one. Number two, Iowa State was a leap of faith. You know, everyone talking about Iowa State tonight. What do we have? What do we have to hang our hat on about the Cyclones coming in? Ooh, they played Iowa tough. Who the fuck is Iowa? You know, they lost Iowa. It's like we gave them credit because they scored 41 points against Iowa. And we talk ourselves into it. To me, the difference is, to me, the difference in this is Duke have showed us something this year. Duke have showed us something this year. You know, they've won games. They've won games convincingly. Played cream puffs. You know, to me, it's an impressive 3 wins that they have. You know, whatever. I don't count the NC Central game, but they're 4-0. You know, you beat up on Northwestern by 24 points. You handled business against Baylor. Yeah, you were laying 12.5, 13. You won by 14. We just saw Oklahoma got all they can handle from Baylor. Baylor are a shit show, but Baylor still have like fucking 4-star recruits out there and stuff. NC State, at NC State, nice 10-point win. So it's not like, oh, you know, they kind of played well and maybe we can backdoor it. It's like, no, they played well this year. You know, they're you know, if you look, their slimmest margin of victory was 10. They beat the Tar Heels by 10, Baylor by 14, Northwestern by 24, and NC Central by 53. I'm seeing a consistent pattern here of Duke playing well on a weekly basis and not against cream puffs. Number 75 on the Bears just fucking smoked a safety. I want to see the replay of that. Come on, show the replay. It was an exorbitant, weird hit. It was like a little guy in alignment. I just saw a guy in white sort of like get lifted off the ground. He got up all fucking bitching about something. It's like, dude, you got nailed. Well, it's football. You want to get close to the line and stack the box, you're going to get hit by a big guy once in a while. That's why the little guys don't like getting up there. Glennon back to pass. I was going to say he'll throw a pick, but he threw a little bubble, a little dump off. First down, Bears. What's the live action? Live action. Does Glennon throw a pick on this drive? I say yes. I think he throws one more. Or he'll fumble as he gets sacked. I don't have confidence that the Bears are going to go down the field here. Glennon will fuck this up. For the record, the in-game number is Packers minus 27.5. Total's 51.5. Total's 51.5 right now. Fuck, I can't believe that motherfucker missed the field goal before. Fucking Barth. Good job, Barth. Fucking 47 fucking yarder. It wasn't even close. They're running the ball a little bit now. To me, you know, the thing with Miami is, like I said earlier, this is a game that Miami would fuck up in past years. But, you know, Rick is a good coach. He's done a hell of a job recruiting. So, you know, Miami could be a very good team. The thing with Miami is they haven't played anybody yet. You know, they played Bethune-Cookman. They won 41-13. The Arkansas State game was canceled, and they ended up tattooing Toledo in the end. They were trailing at the half, and they exploded in the second half. So, you know, that's a little bit of a concern that it carries over into this game. I think the over's the play. I think 51 is more than a fair number. I know Duke's got a slow pace play, but I'd be very surprised if this game stayed under the number tomorrow night. I do think we've got a live dog. I think we've got a live dog. It's not the best bet of the weekend or anything like that, but I think we got a live dog tomorrow night in this game. I'm taking Duke plus the points, and I'm taking the over in this game. Duke plus the points and the over for me. Not huge units, but I'll be playing it, and we'll be here watching it with you. BYU and Utah State. I used to be a big Utah State guy, and I thought that Myers would be a better quarterback than he has been. Feels like he's been there forever. To me, this is a winnable game for BYU. Don't love it, but winnable game for BYU. Nebraska, Illinois is kind of a fucking train wreck that I'll stay away from. And then we got that big USC-Washington State game. Points spread up to 5 points right now. And as I was saying earlier, I hate being a hypocrite and saying that Washington State don't win big games. I don't trust their coach. I don't trust their quarterback. But the fact of the matter is, I don't trust USC in this spot. And maybe someone can enlighten me in the chat, guys, if you know. Why is the number going up? Like, is it confirmed that Deontay Burnett is playing? There's going to be a lot of pressure on Darnold tomorrow night. He's going to have to win this game on his own. USC's defense is giving up chunks as well. That's the thing. It's not like USC are, getting other teams go to 3 and out. Up to 5, very, very, how do you not take the home dog here? Oh, here's our boy Brooks. So Deontay Burnett's going to play. Ronald Jones is playing, but he's banged up. They're just running the ball down the Packers' throat right now. One thing, though, we talk about the point spread, and we're saying, oh, it's, it was 3 and now it's 5 and whatever. I don't really think it matters. I don't think that it's going to be a close. It'll either be, a really close game and Washington State beats them or USC fucks them up. So I'm not really sure what the point spread even means in this game. But USC, it's a tough scheduling spot for them. They were on the road last week against Cal. And the fact of the matter is Cal are okay, but they're not great. And Cal hung with USC. As I stated earlier, I think USC are a good team. I just think USC are having a hard time dealing with the pressure and the spotlight. I think Clay Helton's never been through something like this before. Sam Darnold's never, none of them have been anything through like this before. It's not like they've been a powerhouse in past years or anything like that. So here they are. They have a massive fucking target on their back on a weekly basis. I talked about Darnold feeling the NFL pressure a little bit. To me, you wonder about Clay Helton. It's funny. And anytime I flip, earlier in the week, I was like, fuck Washington State. USC will beat them. But like I said, now that the game's getting closer and stuff, and I'm really looking at this, I can make a big argument for Washington State on their home field. You really can. So much, if you look at USC, they've only played one good game this year. Against Western Michigan, that game was fucking close with 7 minutes left. It was tight. All right? Western Michigan aren't that good. Michigan State beat Western Michigan by 14 points. They struggled in that game. They fucked Stanford up. They played a perfect game. They fucked Stanford up. The game was a fucking debacle. The Texas game was a debacle. Last week against Cal, like I said, Cal are a young football team, rookie coach, and Cal were in that game. USC stepped it up. That's another thing with USC. USC are very big on let's flick the switch. And we've talked about this, and maybe this is the way to go with this game tomorrow. And I don't know if you guys agree with me or not. And our boy Brooks in the chat's a big USC fan, so I do respect his opinion on this team. USC have struggled in first halves this year. They haven't started strong. And what about the total of this game? Is it too high? Will it become a smash mouth sort of? It's early in the year, guys, but it's almost a playoff eliminator. I don't think the Pac-12 has the currency to go into the playoffs with 1 or 2 losses. 2 losses, no. 1 loss, maybe. Before the year started, all the hype about USC, I said, I think Washington's just going to slide in the back door again, And you notice Washington are sort of getting better on a weekly basis. It's going to be a fun game tomorrow. I'm looking forward to this game. It's cool that we're on the air for this on a Friday night, too. You know this game's going to take like 4.5 fucking hours. It starts at 10:30. So we're going to be on till like 2 in the morning, 2:30 tomorrow. But yeah, as it is right now, I'm leaning with Wazoo plus the 5. And I know, is Big Man on campus here? Where's Big Man? Yes, I have. I have bet on Canadian college football, Wilson. And Wilson, you're Gargon, right? I have bet on CIS Canadian college football. You remember I fucking put like $6,000 on the Vanier Cup years ago? No shit. Pinnacle. Pinnacle had it. Pinnacle was accepting big wagers. I put like 3,000 at Pinnacle and Bet365 had it, and I maxed out. I think only let me put 1,000 on it though. I had like 4 or 5. I had a lot of money. Like for a Vanier Cup, I remember I was nervous. I was like, all week, I was like, oh, it's a fucking lock, man. And I'll bet everything you can. And then I don't really bet on Zam. No one bets on CIS football. And I remember shitting myself. The game was in Toronto, too. I remember shitting myself the night of the game thinking, oh, what have I done? Fuck, I've got like $5,400 on a fucking college Canadian game here. And I need to win by like 14 or 17. Well, Bison to win in a route. And they won in a route. No, yeah. Oh, there's Gargon. Mr. Gargon. Sorry, Gargon. We've got two Wilsons. That's why. We got 2 Wilsons, and I was like, I thought Wilson was Gargon. I get confused with people's chat names and real names. I don't even know a lot of people's real names, but I do the guys that are in our fantasy leagues. No, so anyways, with CIS football, the problem with that is with Canadian college football, show me a place where I can bet it. I'll bet it. There's not one fucking place that I know that has college football, Canadian college football. Who has it? I think they got crushed and they didn't want to do it anymore. They got beat. Like who's oh fuck, they got a first down. They're gonna punch this in for over betters. They're getting close. Like, I don't know. If you guys know a book that offers CIS football, let me know. I like to bet it in the playoffs, but there is none. Similar with junior hockey. Yeah, like Amar is saying. Similar with junior hockey. A lot of books used to have junior hockey up. You could bet on Ontario Hockey League games. You could bet on Western Hockey League games, Quebec Major Junior League games. And a lot of the books, Pinnacle had it. A few of the other books had it. And I noticed a lot of the sort of bookie sites in Canada had it. Books would have on OHL hockey. I fucking killed it, man. Except they took it down. They took it down. And the lottery, I remember in Quebec, they started to take bets on the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. Mise au jeu, the Quebec lottery did. And people freaked out. They're like, you can't bet on kids, fuck. It's not right. And it's ridiculous. There's no difference between betting on an Ontario Junior Hockey League game and betting on a college football game. What's the difference? And for the record, if you guys are wondering, like, what's the Ontario Hockey League? The Ontario Hockey League, the Western Hockey League, and the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League is essentially a touchdown Bears game goes over the number. Yeah, like Big Man is saying, like, yeah, soccer. Yeah, like, look at soccer. You can bet on all levels of soccer. It's crazy. Like right now, look, Bet365 is going to have a shitload of stupid soccer up. But it's amazing to me that Bet365 will take bets on fucking, like, look, right now, Bet365 has action on the UPHSD Atlas University versus Heavy Bombers, Filipino NCAA basketball, college basketball. Right now, Bet365 has fucking action on the Belgium Basketball League, which I don't understand how Belgium could be playing right now because there's only a 5-hour time difference. So what, you're playing basketball at 5 in the morning in Belgium? I don't get that. But anyways, so that's what I'm saying. So I don't understand why you guys would have Belgium basketball and Filipino kid basketball, but you wouldn't have fucking CIS fucking Vanier Cup football. Book with CIS football, I'll bet it. CIS basketball is better, though, than football. Like a Canadian university football team would get fucked up by an NCAA team. There's only like maybe 1 or 2 teams that would be able to hang. Laval could beat some NCAA teams, but the lower tier teams. I'd like to see Laval versus Kent State. Laval versus Maine. Laval could beat the bottom feeders, NCAA bottom feeders. But like I'm talking bottom feeders. Like they wouldn't be able to beat like anyone from like 120 up type thing. Basketball is a little bit different. Canadian University basketball, you could take a few teams and they could beat NCAA teams, but the shittier teams. Like put it this way, like Carleton University in Canada, that's the best basketball program. Carleton, they're in Ottawa. Like Carleton would be on the level of like they could fucking beat Vermont. Like shit like that. Like Carleton could beat St. Peter's. You know what I mean? Siena would beat them. Iona would beat them, Carleton. They'd compete with Siena and Iona. They'd beat the St. Peter's of the world. They'd beat sort of those lower tier teams. Guys in the Canadian media that overblow them. Like Michael Grange's a fucking idiot. I remember Michael Grange was saying that, Carleton would be a top 40 team in the NCAA, that they would be an NCAA tournament team if they were in the NCAA. They wouldn't even be an NIT team, fuck. If Carleton was in the NCAA, Carleton would be playing in the fucking CBI CIT fucking tournament. Let's not get carried away, all right? But anyways, my whole point was Canadian University basketball is better than Canadian University football. There's a lot of good Canadian football players, but they all play, like, a lot of them are in the MAC. The MAC recruits out of Quebec pretty heavily. There's a ton of French kids in Montreal. Like, and my buddy Earl Perel is a coach. Most of the kids that he sent to the NCAA went to MAC schools. Like Montreal is like a fucking pipeline for Akron University, Western Michigan, Central. All the MAC schools recruit in Canada big time because it's on the border type shit. And they can get the kids. And like the best Canadian kids, if they're lucky, they'll end up in the Big Ten. And rarely. Biaka Bakutu, the kid from Montreal, he was on Michigan. Brooks says top 40 women's. Yeah, no, Michael Grange actually was talking that shit. Yeah, exactly. Jabari Arthur. St. Leonard Cougars. St. Leonard Cougars, they produced a lot of MAC players. All right, so college football, I haven't really locked in my best bets this week, guys, to be honest with you. I've been so focused sort of on the Friday and game by game. Let's blast through these. Ed Feng joined us earlier. He said he likes Colorado State and Hawaii to go over the number, 64.5. Hawaii's back on the island. I think we got a live dog with Hawaii, actually, in this game. I think we got a live dog. Hawaii, you're showing me something. I'm a big, what's the coach's name? Rolovich, the former quarterback, Nick Rolovich. He's doing a great job with his program. It's to the point now where Hawaii compete when they're not on the island even. You can't justify. So you're telling me this game is tomorrow night at fucking midnight and not Saturday, huh? Because I saw Drew talking about the midnight special. This game's tomorrow night at midnight. Wicked. What the fuck? Why are all these games on Friday this week? All right. A lot of action tomorrow night. Ooh. The Hawaii special. I was talking to someone last week, a bookie guy, and he told me, he goes, man, people just blindly bet Hawaii in the over at home. You know, Hawaii in the over. And you know what? Call me Johnny Public. Give me Hawaii in the over. I can't justify laying 6.5 points with Colorado State. What have Colorado State done to justify this? What, they beat Oregon State in week 1? I'm taking the Tennessee Volunteers plus the points, too. I'm taking the Vanderbilt Commodores plus the points. Looks like it's an underdog week for me on the college grid. I like Virginia Tech plus the points. I like Texas Tech plus the points. I'm trying to find some numbers here for this Hawaii game. I'm not talking about point spread numbers. I'm just looking for some numbers. Holy fuck. I don't know if you guys can hear it. It sounds like the wind is blowing in here. It's actually my computer. It's actually my computer. This is as loud as I've ever heard it. It's overheating. That's the thing, guys. Like, man, I rip about Apple a lot, but fuck, I'm beating the fuck out of this computer. I'm using this computer 18 hours a day. Like, no shit. Like 9 in the morning, it's right now till 12. Hey, it's been kicking out videos, content for me all day. I don't know how I can cool it down right now. Turn the brightness down. Yeah, and you know what's funny? Betting on underdogs in college is generally a fucking surefire disaster. All right, here's something for the Duke Blue Devil bettors tomorrow to put in your pipe and smoke. Courtesy of Mark Lawrence. Awesome angle of the week. Play on any college football conference home dog of more than 6 points following back-to-back wins if they're facing a conference foe off of back-to-back wins. If won 9 or fewer games the previous year. All right, pretty simple. If you've won back-to-back games playing a team that's played back-to-back games and you're an underdog and you're getting 6 points and that team didn't win 9 or more games the year before, you know what the angle is? 17-1. 17-1. Yeah, I think the Duke Blue Devils Duke Blue Devils a live dog here. Yeah, you know what's funny? Every college game I'm looking at right now is an underdog. Every game I'm looking at is an underdog. And you know what? We talk about these points all the time. Look at the NFL. The points don't mean shit, fuck. If you're going to take there's not a lot of close games in college football. There really aren't. Teams usually choke. There's not a lot of throw. There's entertaining games. There's close games once in a while. But, where I'm going with this is is Washington State going to lose this game by 5 points or less, or are they going to win or get blown out? Colorado State and Hawaii. Are Hawaii going to win this game outright? Where I'm going is maybe I'll just sprinkle on all these money lines. Let's get ballsy. Like Costanza and his cousin. Let's get crazy, George. But I do like these underdogs. Now I got to think, all right, do I want the points or the money line? Because I'm not even sure the points matter. Like I said, I think USC either lose the game or win the game. Either USC go in there and they're just too much for Wazoo, and Wazoo are what I fucking thought they were. Or I think Washington State beats them outright. Basically, I'm saying, if you like them on the 5, I think you can talk yourself into the money line aspect of it. Because if they lose, are they really going to lose by 3 or 4 or something? Well, the computer sort of calmed down. I turned down the brightness and stuff. So I like the underdogs, guys. I really do. I'm looking at Duke. Look, Duke plus 210, money line. Washington State plus 170, money line. Hawaii plus 205, money line. If one of them hits, you know what? We don't really lose. 2 of them hits, big night. You hit a fucking plus 170, you hit a plus 210. That's not too bad. And a plus 205. You hit 2 of those, pretty big profits. And I think they legitimately can win. I think Hawaii can win that game against Colorado State. And if they don't, they probably get fucking killed. I think Washington State can win this game. If they don't, they probably get killed. Similar situation with Miami and Duke. I guess maybe one of them could be a 3-point game or something, but I always tell myself this, and it's funny because I've been saying this for years. My boy Jorge Gonzalez in Vegas, I remember years ago, man, he told me that. He goes, you notice how people never bet money lines in football? And he goes, I don't bet point spreads. He goes, money line for the favorite of the underdog. Only money lines. Fuck the spread. Because he's like, the spread doesn't matter. And, so he basically was an underdog money line better all the time. He loved those dogs of around 3 points. Instead of the 3, just take the plus 150 on the money line, etc. So I'm going to consider this with Duke on the money line plus 210. Washington State on the money line plus 170. Hawaii on the money line plus 205. But if we're just talking spreads this week, I like the dogs. Duke plus 6.5. Washington State plus 5. Hawaii plus 6.5. Scrolling. Vanderbilt plus 9. Scrolling. Tennessee plus 7.5. We talked about the Tennessee-Georgia game earlier in the program. Man, every year these guys play, it's a high-scoring game in the 30s. It's a close game, and whoever has the ball last generally wins. I know Tennessee have their faults, and I know that they struggled last week against UMass, but nevertheless, Georgia have a tendency of playing down to the level of competition. It's a rivalry game. It's a close game. Give me the 7.5 points. And whatever. Tennessee can win this game. Plus 255 on the money line. This one, it surprises me. I'm going to say this. But dear God, man, what about Arizona State getting 18? I'm not so sure Stanford should be laying this type of wood against anybody right now. Yeah, I don't have enough money to be wasting on Arizona State on the road, but I'm just stating that I didn't really notice this game before. Stanford should not be laying 18 against anybody right now. Michigan State and Iowa, I'm going to stay away from. The Miami Notre Dame game, everyone we talk to seems to like Miami of Ohio here and disrespecting Notre Dame. I'm gonna do the contrarian play here. I think Notre Dame kill him. Miami of Ohio aren't a good team. They're not as good as they've been in past years. As I stated earlier, Brian Kelly doesn't have a lot of leeway here. He was in the hot seat coming into this year. And he needs to win games and blow people out. And another thing, Brian Kelly's an asshole. You want to bet on asshole coaches. Brian Kelly's an asshole. He's not going to take it easy on Miami of Ohio. He's going to beat the shit out of them. I don't understand why you guys are talking yourself into Miami of Ohio here, some of you. I don't get it. I'm not doing it. I took Temple against Notre Dame. What happened there? Temple got fucked up. I didn't take Boston College against Notre Dame. I took the under in that game. What happened? Notre Dame hung 49 on a good Boston College defense. Like, well, I don't get the disrespect here. Notre Dame just smoked Michigan State on the road. They're not going to let up. It's not a letdown. They're playing at home. They're not going to let up. They're Notre Dame. They've been fucking embarrassed the last few years. They have an asshole coach who wants to keep his job. Like I said, I'm not saying Notre Dame's my top bet of the week, but I don't understand this argument. And I know Big Man on Campus is leaning that way. Mark Lawrence is leaning that way. What we just heard, Ed Feng. Oh, I'm not sure Notre Dame's that good. What do you want him to do? I don't even like Notre Dame. What do you want? What do you want him to do? They went on the road and beat the shit out of Boston College. They beat the shit out of Temple. They lost by 1 fucking point to a fucking team that might be in the playoffs this year. Fuck. Georgia are going to the SEC championship game. What do you want Notre Dame to do? They just beat the shit out of Michigan State on the road. And now people are, oh yeah, Miami of Ohio are going to give them all they can handle. I keep hearing every week, oh, Wimbush isn't that good. I don't know. Wimbush keeps fucking kicking the shit out of teams every week. Tom Marino, they haven't beaten anybody, all bad teams. Yeah, and Miami of Ohio is a great team. I know Tom Marino. Yeah, I know. It's a real tough test for them against Miami of Ohio here. I'm sorry, Big Man on Campus. I don't want to put words in your mouth. I thought earlier in the week you mentioned this game and the point spread being too high. I'm not feeling this one. I think, like I said, I'm not in a hurry to bet. I don't like Notre Dame. I don't like betting on Notre Dame. I don't like them. But to me, they're going to fuck Miami up. And like I said, this isn't a good Miami team either. I could get it if it was a good Miami team. It's not a good Miami team. They lost to Marshall. They beat Austin P. They lost to Cincinnati. You lost to the Cincinnati Bearcats. And you nice win against Central Michigan. I'll give you that. 35-14 final score. Football game's over. 35-14 final score. Favorite in the over. Johnny Public cashes. I'm getting worked up about this Notre Dame game. All right, so we'll move on here. Can't wait to break down the college with Big Man tomorrow. I'm just free-flowing here, looking at the numbers. Ohio State minus 28 at Rutgers. Oh, yeah, here's more. Okay, so we're into the Saturday night games now. I'm going, call me Underdog City here again, guys. Underdog. I'm taking Texas Tech plus 10. Why is it up to 10.5 now? Oklahoma State are chokers. Oklahoma State might win this game, but this is going to be a game whoever has the ball last. They're going to be trading points all night. Texas Tech isn't an easy place to play, especially at nighttime. Texas Tech are believing right now. Texas Tech come into this thinking, you know what? We haven't lost. We're not scared of Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State are a mirror image of us. So whatever. They're going to trade. We'll trade points for these guys. I don't see how you justify, making Oklahoma State this big of a favorite. Look, they played last year 45-44. I remember that game. Let's look at Texas's Tech work this year. Beat the shit out of Eastern Washington, who are an elite FCS program. Beat Arizona State 52-45. Beat Arizona State 52-45. And as we see, Arizona State, against Oregon, this win is it looks a little nicer for Tech. Last week, they went into Houston, getting 6.5, 7 points. I know big men on campus like the Red Raiders. So did I. I jumped on board. And they won the game outright, 27-24. Good. You don't need the points. They went outright. And I watched that game. This game was not a 27-24 game. It was close in the first half. Texas Tech were the better team. And Houston scored some points late. Texas Tech were the better team. So I'm just saying, it's not like Texas Tech could play complete patsies. They played against some good athletes. 10.5 points, man, on their home field. I like it. I'm starting to get fired up, man. I better start loading up the account here. David, I'm sure that the boiler room angle is really going to work here, meat man. Everyone likes a boiler room guy. Hey, I got nothing against boiler room guys or any of this. But this is the type of stuff that no one likes. I want business. I know that by winning for you, you ain't going to give me shit unless you win. I'm in Vegas. Fiji under looking great. Women's basketball. Big man on campus firing some bullets. I know. I swear, I think this Dave guy would be better off if he was actually selling real meat as opposed to picks. Like if he came in and he said, guys, I got some great fucking steaks and some great meat at a great price, I think people would be like, oh, yeah, what website? Yeah, give me your contact. The guy comes in selling picks. People are like, I don't know your picks. You got meat? Like, seriously, Dave, if you were selling real meat, I think people would be interested. Like, people would be like, yeah. See, Big Will would buy the meat. Who wouldn't buy some meat? If someone had some meat, right? If I'm selling cheap meat, people would buy it. You say, you got some good grade A steak for me? Yeah, I got some Trump steaks, fuck. You selling Trump steaks? We're going to listen. You selling Trump steaks? We're going to listen. And I got to be honest with you too, Dave. I'm not so sure like calling yourself meathead is the best way to go when you're trying to sell picks. Like it doesn't, I don't know. When I think of a big pound of fucking ground beef, I don't think of winners. It's like, yeah, I'm going to call the meat man. Like the cash man. I'm the cash man. Give you money for your gold. You're the cash man, the meat man. What's the meat man? How about beat the book man, the cash man? How about the man? Tube steaks. Brooks asked about the AFL final. Me and Mick Austin did a great video, Brooks. It's up on the Fantasy Sports Network YouTube page. The Adelaide Crows are going to win the final tomorrow. Their first championship since 1998. Lay the 5.5. Yeah, we did 30 minutes, Brooks. I actually thought, man, I'll get Mick on for 10 minutes and I'll do the other 13 minutes alone on the show. And we actually spent like 22 minutes, man. We treated it like the Super Bowl. We went over all the props and everything. Adelaide's going to win. Richmond are good, though, man. And Richmond are at home. Richmond's home stadium, the MCG Oval. I'm fired up for that game tomorrow night at midnight Eastern. Man, it's going to be crazy tomorrow night on this show. Hawaii football, AFL championship, USC, Washington State. See you later, Kenobi. Thanks for tuning in. All right, we'll take our last break of the evening and come back with some closing thoughts and set the table for tomorrow. Pretty heavy. Even by my standards, I'm like, whoa, a little late for this. Fuck. A little late for that. Like I said, I can never tell, man. I could sort of hear like banging upstairs, but I can't tell if they're bitching at me or they're just making noise. I can never tell. There's some time, and I'm knocking on the door and say, are you talking to me or I'm curious. Like I said, when their fucking dog stops fucking bowling all day, I'll fucking stop making noise all night. But no, I'm good. I've never had a complaint here with noise. These condos are pretty good. The only thing is, my neighbors are pretty quiet. I just noticed that. I was just on my balcony, and I can see into everyone's window, and I swear, man, there's like fucking 2,000 people who live in this complex, and there's like 3 windows. There's like 3 lights on right now. What do you guys do? Like, really? I got to work in the morning. So do I. How many of you wake up in the morning and go to work in the morning? Last night, I fucking shredded till like 4 in the morning, too. Time goes by fast, man. We're already into October, and I'm recording a record in February. And it's $100 an hour in the studio. Not cheap. We're not cheaping out. We're going to Metalworks Studio in Toronto, owned by Rick Emmett of Triumph. So, yeah, you work in the morning. You work at 12:30. You don't sleep anyways, big man. Michael bought bio out 3 jobs, 16 hours a day. Props to you, Baya. I agree with Tom Marino. Atlanta's winning the Super Bowl. I said it before the year started. Atlanta's winning the Super Bowl, 14-1. That's the territory I'm in now, Baya. I work, I do about 16, 18-hour days now. Except I do all these shows and stuff. And I like I said, I got this record, and I didn't put a lot of work into it in the month of September. I was so busy with football and getting the season going and this show and a million shows that I do. But I got to start finding time, so I'm forcing the time overnight now, and it feels good. That just came together, and I keep adding these new little fucking tweaks to it. It just keeps getting better and better. And today I got goosebumps, and that says something. I was like, man, it came together. Like, I got chills just thinking about it now. I'm like, holy fuck. So good. Fuck. One of the tunes, man. We're going to unleash this shit. We're going to unleash this shit. So, I got to put a lot of hours into that. At $100 an hour in the studio, you can't fuck around. Think about it, you're paying $100 an hour. We got to be, you know. We're going to be doing a few live shows as well. We're going to be doing a couple of live shows. We're thinking about a mini tour. Isolated cities. Montreal, Toronto, and we might play Las Vegas, actually. Why not, you know? I'm only really doing this for fun and shit, so playing with Homicide in Vegas would be pretty cool. I know bands we can play with there and shit, so yeah, playing a show in Vegas, I think we might do that. And the other thing I wanted to bring up, actually, no, I've heard of them. I know that band, but no, I never crossed paths with them, no. It's cool, too. There's a Rageaholic out there. Buddy owns a big metal label. He told me, and I checked out his, I'm like, holy fuck, yeah, you do actually own a big metal label. You're a big Rageaholic. He loves the early Homicide, so he's already put the request in. Okay, you know, we're going into a big-time studio. The songs are fucking good. I'm going to shred, man, my vocals, man. I'm going to rip my voice apart. This is probably the last, maybe it's not the last Homicide we do, but I'm going in there. I'm going in there fucking hard. Like, it's going to be good. Like, we're not fucking around. This, like, our other records were kind of rushed and shit. Like, this isn't going to be rushed. It's going to sound heavy as fuck. No, it's Willow Tip Records. I'm not saying we're on Willow Tip, but I'm just saying Buddy wants first dibs on the material, and he's very excited about it. So we're stoked. Hey, we might have a record deal coming out of the gate here. It'll be good. But on a sports note, and Drew, I'm glad you're here because I want to tell your boy I'm coming to town. I'm coming to town. I'm going to go to the Buffalo Bill. We're going to have to figure something out for this night, actually, guys. I don't miss shows generally. Even if I'm sick and people die and stuff, I still blast through it. Anyone that knows me knows, you know. We've been on a fantasy sports network for nearly 4 years. I missed one show. I did 511 shows in a row, and I missed one because I missed a flight. I got stuck in an airport in Vegas after the Super Bowl, Denver, Carolina. I missed the show the next day. My streak was fucked. Otherwise, I'd have a fucking Cal Ripken real streak. I'd be on like 900 shows in a row, 900 days in a row. I don't take time off, but I also have to live my life a little bit. I have to live my life a little bit and not go stir crazy. So my Buffalo Bills are playing the New York Jets on national television Thursday, November the 2nd. And looking at the Bills' schedule and shit, we're still going to be alive. You know what I mean? We're not going to be, you know, we'll be like 500 at that point. So I can justify, hey, it's not a meaningless game. It's November 2nd. It's not all that far off. The Bills have a bye week too, so that's a game we can't lose. I think, like I said, I think the Bills will be like 3-3 at that point, whatever it is. You know, the 4-3. You know, I can look at the schedule now. Actually, I'll look. Yeah, I've said it before, but what's convenient about this is it doesn't affect me very much. The only thing it affects is one show, the Thursday night, November the 2nd, which I don't really know what we can do about it. Because if I was going to say I could come on after the football game, but I'll be wasted. And the game's not going to be over till about midnight or so. So Thursday, November the 2nd, my plan is to be in New York City for the Jet game. Bills-Jets. Yeah, we don't even have that many games before that, actually. We play the Falcons this week, which is a sure win for sure. So the Bills will be 3-1. No, I'm kidding. So the Bills will be going to be 2-2. Next week, we go to the Bengals. We could beat the Bengals. I'm not saying we will, but we could. The following week, we host the Bucks. And then after that, we host the Raiders. So Falcons, Bengals, Bucks, Raiders. What do the Bills go there? I think we can squeak a 2-2 out. We're not going to beat the Falcons. We could beat the Bengals at Cincinnati. And, chances we don't beat the Raiders. But, between the Bucks and the Raiders, we'll win one of those games at home. We got to beat Cincinnati. So either way, look, we're 4-4 or we're 3-5 going into the Jet game. I can live with that. I hate going to meaningless games. You know what I mean? I can live with, we're 3-5. If we win this, we're 4-5. We got the Saints next week. We'll be 5-5. Anybody that looked at the Bills' schedule knew it gets easier as we go on. This is a pretty tough stretch we're in here right now. Broncos, Falcons in a row. That's not easy. At Bengals, it settles down. We get the Bucks, Raiders, but then we get the Jets. Then we host the Saints. Then we're at LA at the Chargers. Fuck, I forgot about that game. I'd like to go to that game too. Fuck. We're at the Chiefs. We're not going to win that. We're not going to beat the Patriots. We get the Colts. There's some winnable games for the Bills. Dolphins, Colts, Dolphins again, fucking Jets, Saints, Bucks, Bengals. There's some winnable games for the Bills. So, I don't know how many of you guys are in the New York area. What's up, Ty Rich? I don't think so, Dave. I don't know. I think the best, what we can maybe do? Maybe my man, big man on campus can step up and in that night. And I'll check in, all wasted from the game throughout the evening. I'll call in after the first quarter. Hey, what's up, guys? After the second quarter, and then you guys can hear my drunken levels go up. So, if any of you guys are in the New York area, feel free. We'll hang out. And what's cool is Fantasy Sports Network has a studio in New York, so I can set this up easily. I can leave Thursday morning here at like 8 a.m., 9 a.m. I can meet Drew's buddy. I can take care of my business and set myself up. I can do my live TV show at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I can go to the football game. And normally I'd leave right away, but I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stay for Friday morning, do my TV show again Friday, so I don't have to fucking be all hungover and on a plane Friday morning. I could recover, do a live TV show at 2 o'clock, and then just fucking leave New York like Friday night and come back to Toronto for the night stuff here. Right? So it's, I could have a lot of fun and it won't take a lot of time out of my life. Yeah, that's it, Dave. I'll be checking in from the game. Yeah, I'm gonna fly Porter, Big Will. And if I buy in advance, it'll only be like, $150. And it's only a fucking 48-minute flight. It's only a 48-minute flight. It's crazy. It's 55 minutes, literally. I'm going to leave here, and I live right near the airport, the island airport. I leave here. I'm in New York an hour and a half later from my house, essentially. I'm in New Jersey an hour and a half later. 2.5 hours, boom, fuck. I'm in Manhattan. 2.5 hours from door to door. And depending on traffic coming to Jersey, in New York. But I took the train last time, actually. It was fucking 30 minutes. 25 minutes later, I was in New York. Pick up some weed, do my shows, go get wasted at a Jet Bills game, go out in fucking Manhattan after the game. Big Man is saying come down to Philly for a game. I'd like to come down to Philly for a game sometime. I don't know. Maybe there's a way, maybe we'll do something earlier that night. I could check in from like the bar or something in New York before I go to the game, do an hour or 2 hour show before we go. Thanks, Damon Williams. See, I just want to throw it out there. If any of you guys want to go to the Jets-Bills game, I'm going to be going to the Jets-Bills game in New York on November the 2nd. It sounds crazy, but it's actually easier for me to go to New York City than it is to go to Buffalo. Buffalo's a pain in the ass, man. There's fucking traffic. There's nothing to do there anyways. Like I said, I can get into a taxi, be at the airport in 10 minutes. An hour later, I'm in fucking New Jersey. Boom. Half hour later, I'm in New York. It's perfect. And my boss, Lou Mayone, I'm working on it, Drew. They're not going to pay for it. They trust me. Why do you think I haven't been back? They're going to get nervous as soon as I tell them this shit. They're going to say, oh, yeah, we'll see. And basically what they're getting at is, listen, we don't want to pay $300 for a hotel room for you. That's what they're getting at. So I'm just going to tell them, I don't give a shit, whatever. I'm doing this on my own. The only catch is I told Lou, I'm going to tell Lou Mayone, the boss, I told him last night, get me some fucking tickets at least. You're a big shot fucking head of Deutsche Bank and shit. I know you got, you know what I mean? I'm coming down, my favorite team. Get me some fucking 50-yard line tickets here. I want the fucking bigwig seats. Get me some bigwig seats. I'll pay for my own hotel and shit. I might be able to get him to do it. Trust me, Drew. It's tough. Like the expenses, they're not in. Look, I haven't been back to New York in a year. Before they were like, oh, we're going to fly you up. Remember before they were like, we're going to fly you up. You're going to do your show here 3 days a week. And I asked about that. I'm like, what's up with that anyways? How come and basically the gist of it was, listen, they were like, we'd love to have you here do the shows, but we can't pay for a hotel for you every night. That was the deal. And they were like, and Nando was like, if you're willing to live in Jersey and commute every day. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. Fuck. Yeah, true. Exactly. My money's going to the Hardy Boy lawsuit. Fuck. That's basically that's the gist of it. That's the gist of it. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Ever since we own the wrestling company, I'm not traveling anywhere. I don't ask for a lot, though. I sent Lou a message. I'm buddies with Lou, the owner. Lou's like text me personal shit. So Lou sent me a message last night about something personal. And I responded. I said, hey, playing the Jets on November the 2nd. I'd love to come down and, we'll hang out. We'll go to the game. And he responded back, done. So, that's set up then. Yeah. Yeah, the Hardy lawsuit and all that other shit cutting into my New York business trips. Fuck. Man, I got to tell you, Drew, I really thought I'd be coming back all the time. I was like, this is great. I was like, I've been in the business a long time, but finally New York City. And I'm like, I got fucking all expense paid. I got a room in the fucking Marriott on 6th Avenue. This is fucking awesome. Like, I remember thinking, now I made it. You know, now this is making it. You know, I got a free hotel room in a nice 5-star hotel on 6th Avenue, right across the street from MSG. They're like, you're going to do your show here. You're going to live in this hotel, man. You just come right down into the studio. I was like, man, I remember telling my girlfriend at the time, I was like, this hotel, I'm going to live here. It's going to be great. Riley's every day. I'm going to live in a hotel. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, that didn't happen. that fell through. And you know what? New York's still on my radar, though. It's the one place I haven't done. At least, you know, even if it's for a fucking year or a season, a football season or a whatever season. But me coming down for the Jet game will be a nice start, you know. I'm content here in Toronto anyways. I just don't like paying so much in rent, and New York ain't going to help me with that. So anyways, guys, I appreciate everybody tuning in here. Thanks to Ed Feng for joining us. Thanks to you guys. If you can, give us the thumbs up. Support SBR. Go over to sportsbookreview.com and, you know, bet on one of their sports books, guys. All this content isn't free, all right? It's free for you, but it's not free for them. I didn't see the trailer for the Gotti movie. I'll check it out tonight, big man. I will say this, though, guys. I don't seem like I'm not a sci-fi nerd by any stretch, but I am a Star Trek fan. And it's funny, I'm the original Star Trek fan, though. Captain Kirk and Spock and shit, right? I can watch it anytime. You know, if it comes on, I'm like, ooh, Star Trek. Like, I love it. So with a guy that was like a Star Trekkie. Guy in this punker guy, he fucking loved it. He had all the memorabilia, and I told you, he used to sleep with it on. So I used to be like sleeping on the ship and the noises and the fucking Borg and the whole 9 yards. So, but I'm anti-new movies. So I've never seen these new Star Trek movies. You know, they look all modern and Christopher Nolan or whatever, J.J. Abrams, whoever, and they look good and shit, but I've never seen them. All right? So when I kept on hearing in the media recently, new Star Trek, I thought it was a movie. So last night I'm watching TV and it says fucking Star Trek Discovery. And I didn't know what it was. I thought it was one of the movies, right? So I was sick of CNN and the fucking flag debate. So I was like, yeah, you know what? I was like, I've never seen this stuff. I was like, all right, I hate new movies, but I'll give it a chance. So I thought it was a movie and shit. I started watching it and I enjoyed it. So much so that I'm actually going to rewatch it because I didn't watch it in its full entirety. I sort of was clicking around and I watched it. I was like, man, it's a pretty good scene. And I couldn't put my finger on it, though. I was like, man, I like this chick. I have a thing. I always liked that chick on The Walking Dead, Sasha. The black chick from The Walking Dead is in the new Star Trek, and she's fucking good. She nails the character, man. Like I said, I thought it was a movie. The fucking effects were good. The fucking villains were good, man. The costumes were good. Like, you know, I'm sure it's a social fucking justice Star Trek that it's going to get to, but they came out swinging last night, man, with some good shit. A shitty CBS relaunch. I watched it, Drew, and I give it a thumbs up. Like I said, I can't tell you the plot, and I sort of can tell you the plot and shit. It was the debut episode, and they had 2 episodes back to back. So I didn't watch it minute by minute, but it might be a new show that I can watch at 4 in the morning while I fucking get ready for my TV show in the morning. All right. I'm out of here. I appreciate the support. I keep on telling myself I'm going to end this show at like 12:15 or 12:30, and I keep on going to 1 a.m. And tomorrow night, we're going to be on all fucking night with Big Man on Campus. Yeah, it's a great sports season, but I need a diversion sometimes, Big Will. But tonight, I'm jumping on a guitar right after this. I'm jumping on a guitar right after this. I'm close to writing a metal masterpiece. I got to finish this shit. Thanks for tuning in, guys. You guys fucking rock. We'll see you tomorrow night. Other than that, you're on your own. May the winners be yours.